good morning. We're up working in the levitating theater room. Now, I have people asking me, why are you calling it the levitating theater room? Because everything in here is going to give the appearance like it is floating. Not everything, but some stuff. All right, so I had to do a repaint over some stuff and get some stuff ready so we can come in and do a repaint over everything we have in here already. We had to put a first coat, second coat in. I got to come back in and do touch-ups and do recoats all over again in here, and then we should be done in this room all together, which is not all together, but I still got to do the floor. The floor will be next. So we do the floor in halves and half. We take the recliner, move to one side, do one half of the floor. The floor is pretty easy. Hopefully, this is pretty good paint, because it's supposed to be. We ordered something over on Amazon, and it was one coat, one hit, boom, done. And I got to remove that. Whatever that is on there, that has to go. I got to get rid of that. All right, so I'm going to come in here and do some brush work. Also, too, customer screen return. We're going to be coating that today. We need to get that out of here, get it done, get it back on his wall. And we do have the new gunmetal, darker, much, much darker. So we're going to be spraying that today and displaying that today. And then we got some other stuff we're going to be doing in between. So it's going to be a busy day. So, good morning. Thank my Lord and Savior for blessing us to see another beautiful day. Woo! And get ready to get to work. Where are my socks? All right, let's get started so I can be done. Which can, this is the floor. This is what we're using right now. It's pretty good. Where is my top hopper? Top hopper. Where's the top hopper? I don't see the brush. That's not a good sign. I thought the brush was in here. Is the brush in the other? What's this over here? That's the floor paint. That's the brush is in here. And that'll keep the brush. Here we go. That'll keep the brush nice and keep the brush nice and sealed, because I don't want to have to go in and get the brush. But apparently, the person, I'd rather go to Amazon and get it, because apparently the person must be getting paid on commission. You can charge me $16 for a brush. That must be some freaking magic brush at the end of the day. I know you can spend some money with some brushes, I know that. But come on, man, 16 bucks. It's too much. That's way too much. That's way too much money. Up in the morning. So I get some my teaching when I'm waking up, because Lord speaks to me on how to handle things and how to do things. And I got to start doing things a little better, because dealing with people who don't like me or don't like what I do, I need to handle that a little bit more better. I mean, I do basically, like I said, we have to defend our company, and that's something anyone's going to do. Whatever you're doing in life, and you have people who don't like you for it, you have to defend yourself. And let people walk over top of you and treat you any way they want to. But you have to do it a certain way, where you can still stay professional at the same time while you're defending your company's name. And I think, yeah, we have done a good job exposing people for the things that they do. But I think once you get to a certain limit, it's pretty much enough. So we have more than enough on individuals who have tried to mess with our company's name or try to, discredit us. We have more than enough. So to continue to entertain them on that level should be beneath us, because we've already backed our products on so many levels. It's not even funny. Like I said, I can go downstairs and turn any screen on, whatever. We do this every day. Stuff that we do, they would never even do or even try, because the products don't work. And we've tested them, had them down here. Even alone, we have cancellations from the door showing that they can't back the products. So much diminished, because, as I said before, they can't even back their own products. None of alone try to back their own. And so if you just say that twice, they're owing other people. So again, them giving reviews, yeah, I've had so many people saying, hey, don't even bother with that guy at the end of the day, because, first of all, after what we saw, there's no point in we're going to purchase from him, because again, like I said, a lot of his products come with matching house paint. One came matching house paint. He refuses to test the rest. But after seeing that and seeing this man get on camera and lie and talk about how his product does all these things, and then just to go in and to delete the videos, people were commenting on that saying, gee whiz, well, that's kind of jacked up, because, this guy's supposed to be defending himself and he tries to hide the evidence, which means he's guilty. So he's already done the damage already. His ship is literally already sinking. So it's no point in going in and just adding in a couple more cluster bombs on top of that, knowing that there's survivors trying to get off the ship. I doubt he has any remorse for what he's done. He's just reacted and just being even more angry or more hostile toward us, which doesn't bother me at the end of the day, because it protects us at the end of the day. You just bring more destruction on yourself when you do that. But we're just defending our company. This is what anybody should do. Whether you may be the best at your job, whatever it may be, you're always going to have that coworker that is not going to like you or dislike you or spread rumors or say nasty things about you, because they don't like early in the morning, be late at night, they burn the candle at both ends, they do a good job. They got a purpose. They got something that they want. They want the private parking space. They want the office with the window. They want the paid vacations. That's what they want. That's what they're working for. But you got people out there that'll be upset for their success and will dislike them and say nasty things about them, because they worked extra hard to get what they wanted. We call those people the haters. That's what they're named. That's what they're called. Instead of them working just as hard to achieve what Frank or Linda or whatever has at the end of the day, they would rather stew and be full of hatred toward those people than work hard and do it themselves. And that's sad that you have people like that, but unfortunately you do. So I'm learning things from the Lord when I wake up on how to deal and how to handle this situation, dealing with these individuals who do this. When you serve the devil, and you do when you do these acts, because God's not giving you this information, it'll be the devil giving you this information. God will always out the devil as who he is, as a liar, backstabbing, cheater, manipulative, you name it, that's what he is. He will always expose you. The devil will never, ever be to come in and take over one of God's people and make them look this or make them look that. God's not going to have it. It's not going to happen. This is the reason why that when these individuals come against us, it's always the same outcome. They're being exposed, they're being outed, they're being laid. Because again, you're working through the devil, and God sees it, and he will change this and show you what kind of person you are. If you do evil in the dark, God will put you in the light so all can see you. So this is the reason why we don't have any of these things against us, because we don't do these things. I have God to answer to at the end of the day. All my technology, ideas, everything I had, even my daily life of being able to get up in the morning and be able to do this and be healthy as I'm doing it. Where is it at? Be healthy as I'm doing it. Everything I depend on God for. So God's not going to bless someone who's doing dirty things against people and then saying, hey, Lord, can you bless my hand? Because that'd be just like the preachers who steal from the people of the church and they say, oh, Lord, can you bless my hand? It doesn't work that way. God does not bless the wicked. He's not that type of God. So what I mean by handle things, we don't have to react on every little thing that this individual does. I do expose him for things that he does and what they do. But after that, we have to learn to back away and move on, because we're done. That's it. That's all that has to be done. Putting extra time and energy into this, basically at the end of the day, basically is worthless, and it just kills time. So that's why. So let me get back here to working on my room. I like to add some stuff into my videos as I'm working. So if I was a person who did talk too much in my videos, I would never get anything done. And apparently by all the stuff we have done, we get a lot done. All right, as somebody saying, well, you talk too much in your videos. How do you get anything done? We get everything done. We get it done. We get it done. We get it finished. We get it worked on. We get it done. I like to talk in my videos. I like to talk about the Lord. Like I said, I had a fellow who got mad at me because I was talking too much about God. He didn't like this at all, period. That I spent a lot of my time talking about Jesus. He didn't like it. And he was like, look, man, if you're going to get customers in and people are going to buy from you, you got to stop talking about God. You got to stop pushing your opinions on God. I'm pushing your opinions on other people. I'm not pushing my opinions on other people. I'm trying to tell people, hopefully, from what I talk about, maybe somebody may consider or may want to become saved. I'm not trying to say this and the other. We all would like people to be saved. I don't want to see anybody go to hell. Nobody wants to see anybody go to hell. So, it is my obligation to preach about the Lord, talk about the Lord, and hopefully somebody behind the camera will see this either now or later on when this video is already posted. People come in and watch the videos and may see like, you know what? That could be something I need to look into and become a Christian. Hey, changed my life at the end of the day. I mean, if you knew what kind of person I was 20 years ago, I was not the kind of person, I'm not trying to brag and say I was the toughest man on the face of the planet, but I was a person who was afraid to squeeze. And I was the kind of person that was really, really nasty human being. I mean, nasty human being. So I don't talk about my past, but I'm happy I'm not that person anymore. I'm happy that person died when they baptized me and that person no more doesn't exist. But I was really, really something else when I was a teenager. So I'm glad I'm not that person anymore. And it was because of God. It's the reason why he said, okay, he's doing too much. He's going to kill himself, killing somebody else. Let me get him off the street, get him in an area where he can't do anything at all, and we can control him and get him the help he needs. And that's what the Lord did. The guy got locked up. So in that situation, that reality kicked in. That big bad person that was walking up and down the street and he could do anything he wanted. No one's going to question him. No one's going to lock him up. He could do whatever he wanted. That person was sitting in court trying to figure out what the freak is going to happen to my life now. Am I going to spend the rest of my days in jail? I'm going to die in jail. This is it. I got all these people in here that are judging my fate on how what's going to happen to me, even though I deserved it 100%. I honestly did. Most people going, they don't want to admit, but I deserved it. I really did deserve it. So, it was like, you're just going to have to take it. And I'm not going to prison. They're going to have to kill me. And that's what was going to happen. I was already planning my suicide already. I was going to fight the bailiff. They're going to have to kill me. I attack the judge. They're going to have to kill me. So that's what's going to happen. So anyway, long story short, that didn't happen. God didn't allow it to be. Mom walked right to the DA, and she was with the other lawyers, and the Lord talked to her that night and told her that I wasn't going to jail. I was going to do jail time. Julie, that was basically about it, but where he sent me, it took me to a very interesting place. It was to fit my category, but they sent me to that place. It wasn't regular juvie, forever juvie. It was a kind of a maximum security for juvie. It was a different kind of juvie they sent me to because that was the only way they could please the judge of basically where they were sending me to. But anyway, and that's where I met some real interesting people. And I met the Lord, and I got to know about the Lord, and I got a chance to talk about Jesus. I was a fresh new Christian. I was happy and excited and happy to know the Lord and learning things as I go along. Yeah. So, yeah, he put me someplace, and also learned some life lessons along the way that saved my life. Because the road I was going, yeah, somebody was going to definitely kill me, or I was going to kill somebody else. So I'm glad that he had to put me in that situation. It's sad that I did what I did to get there, but I'm happy because, he changed my life. I had to make a decision. As I sat there in that holding cell, I was like, look, man, you're going to have to do something here because, I pretty much already had figured out everything was over. Judging by when the attorney came back, the first day I went to court, and they told me, my lawyer came back and sat down and told me, said, look, this is what you're going to face. 40 minimum, 80 maximum. That's what you're getting. I was like, what the freak? I knew my life was over. That was it. There was no thinking about, oh, when we get out of this, we're going to do this, we're going to change that. My life was over. That was the end of it. Mine was already made up. I'm killing myself. I'm not going to prison. I wasn't a big guy. I wasn't trained in any of the, I was trained in some combat skills, but my father trained me not to the point where I went to school and took up training. I was trained by a sensei. Yeah, easy, but that means something nice. The same nice, sorry, I'll take that back. If I was trained the way I was trained now, oh yeah, I wouldn't have a problem going through because I'm trained to fight. But if at that particular time, heck no, I didn't know too much of anything. And I'm going to be certified as an adult and brought into a mass prison. Yeah, it was pretty messed up. It was like, okay, my life is over. I messed up big time. All that, I'm big and bad, and walking up and down the street and thinking of this and thinking of that, all that changes when you have to go through the system. You're not that person anymore at all, period. Unless you're a deranged psychopath, you just really don't give a darn at the end of the day. But most people really don't want to be there. When I was locked up, most people would give their left arm. They would have somebody cut off their arm to be able to walk in fresh grass, sit down by a tree, enjoy food outside with the friends, see family members. Just to be to do that, they would lose an arm. We had these conversations and we talk like, would you have this, taking that, go through this or go through that, just to be to see your family? You'd be surprised how many people would say yes. A lot of people I was in there with watched their parents and mother and stuff pass away, and they couldn't be there with them because, again, they were in lockdown. But anyway, so that's why I learned to, Lord took me away from being with those people that I was in trouble with, and I got a chance to become saved and learn about the Lord, and got out and got baptized on the first Sunday of my release, which I promised to the Lord when I get out. I couldn't wait to get out and get saved and get baptized. And I wanted to be on the corner preaching about the Lord and talking about him and speaking about him. I want people to know the situation that I went through and my testimony. And as soon as I got out of lockup, here comes Satan sitting out there waiting for me. Because I was a new Christian, not strong in the faith yet. I wasn't built up to the person that I am now. I was a new, fresh Christian. And the devil was out there sitting across the street smiling when I got out. Got out, got baptized, went right into the church. And Satan's in the church too. People don't think that the devil can't walk into the church. The devil comes into the church and sits down all the time. He does. He walks in and out of the church. The devil walks in and out of heaven. It says in the Bible, Satan was walking through heaven, and the devil said, and the Lord said, "Where are you going?" He said, "To and fro." Yeah, he walks back and forth. If God gives him permission to be there, he can be there. So, sure enough, he was there, and I met some female, and she wasn't about the church at all. She was about a lot of things. And she was trying to lead me off that path. I wasn't going. I stayed on my path. One thing my mother said about me, that I'm very hard-headed and stubborn. I get something stuck in my head. It's hard to get it out. So that was stuck in my head. I wasn't going anywhere. But he had another trick up his sleeve: money. So when you come out, everybody knows, unless you got the money to get all new gear to update to the stuff that's going on now, everything you're coming out with is old. And they were giving me some kind of money until I got on my feet, but that money didn't activate yet. So as I would go back and forth on the bus to see my probation officer and go back and forth to different appointments they had to go through to the court, I get on the bus, and these guys would have on these nice new clothes. They were all up to date, and my clothes were all worn out and old from that time. You think like, okay, how come that my family members didn't buy me anything new? Because my family members didn't see anything wrong with the clothing I had on. They didn't see anything wrong with it. I come from a different family. They didn't see anything wrong with it. If it's clothing and I can wear it, now if everything I had was torn and tattered, then they would go in and they would go get me new clothes. But all my clothes weren't torn and tattered. Everything was good. So they didn't feel the need to buy me anything brand new. I could go and say, "Hey, look, I'm a grown man. Can you buy me some clothes? Because my clothes are outdated." And I, sure enough, didn't want to associate with the people that got me in those situations. I got myself in a situation too. I didn't want to be bothered with them. I'm a man of God, and I didn't want to be bothered with that mess. I didn't want nothing to come. So, as I got on the bus, these guys were getting on the bus with all the new latest clothes, and I had these old clothes on, and pretty girls were getting on the bus, and they were laughing at me because I didn't have nice clothes, and they did. Every time I would get on the bus, I was bumping into these same people in the same groups that would just make fun of me because I didn't have nice clothes. So, more and more, I started to look for that money that was coming in. And less time I was spending at the church, I became obsessed with the money. And when the money finally did come in, it was a large amount because it was backed up. I went straight down to the gallery, me and my brother, for Air Jordans, all this new stuff. Thousands of dollars worth of clothes. Got on that bus the next day, I had on stuff that was better than them, more expensive. But to keep up the kind of lifestyle, you have to be to do certain things to have that kind of money. Because what they were giving me wasn't going to be that kind of money every day. It was going to be, the money they gave me because it was backed up. So yeah, I walked away from the church. I walked away from the church to pursue money, and it seemed like as when I walked away from the church, I had all the things that I wanted, but I didn't have the one thing that I needed the most, which was Christ. And I could feel this empty void in my chest, like something was missing out of my life. And no matter what I bought, no matter what I purchased, or how much I put, I had gold and rings, and I had every kind of Air Jordans you can name. Got myself a nice little job, had a little hustle on the side, was making very good money. I had nice gear, everything. Wasn't hanging around with a group of people because I wasn't going down that road, but I was hanging around some people. They just weren't as violent as the other ones were. So I walked away from God for 2 years and lived that life. That money did that to me, being obsessed with money. If I had ignored the devil when I walked on that bus, I wouldn't be in that situation. I was going through depression, I was going through anger issues, all kinds of stuff. I was triggering off to go right back down that same road to get locked up again. The situation that was blessed to get out of. But eventually, after this going on for many years, I told you about how my mother was in the process of moving and leaving, and I was living. Yeah, it wasn't. So I can't think back. When I go back to my dates and the timeline of when I got locked up, it wasn't when I was 18. Matter of fact, I was still there at the house. Interesting. All right, and you can memorize stuff. It's weird when you go back and start checking time dates. But anyway, so she had a little more lenient on me. I don't know why I got to call and ask her about that one. But anyway, so, because usually we had to be out by 18, but I wasn't out by 18. That would have been impossible because I got locked up when I was 16. I got out in my 20s. Yeah, I came back home to the house. And I was in the church, and that's when I slipped for about 2 years. And then that's when my mom moved. Yeah, she got tired of my craziness because I was going back to those old ways, and she didn't want to be around that craziness again. Who the freak would want to be around that craziness at the end of the day? I'm going back into it after coming out of lockup. But when she left, I was still a Christian deep down inside. It was just wasn't there because of the money. I wasn't preaching about the Lord, and it's all about money, money, money. But when I got out of lockup, no. When I came home one day, the house was empty. My mom had left. And that's where I basically ended up becoming homeless, selling all my stuff, living on the street. I had money in my pocket, but I didn't know what I was going to do. Living on the streets for a little bit, contacted my sister in Delaware, went down to stay down with her for about a couple months. I was sleeping on the sofa. And then left from there, paid her a little money because I was paying money, work a little odd job, so I was working there because I pay where I live. So I paid her money, came back to Philadelphia, got a rented room, started staying at my sister's house who lived up in Mount Airy. Don't live there anymore, we lived at Mount Airy. Was sleeping on their sofa, was banking my money, got me rented a room, rented a couple rooms after that, and then from that room, the last room I rented the last 2 rooms was Huntington Park, and then I moved over to Cambria, I was over there with my buddy Howie. I moved in with their family because I got to know him as I was going back and forth to training. I was able to meet back up with my sensei from my old neighborhood. He was way up in Huntington. He was right around the corner from me. Like, oh, shit. I bumped into him at a supermarket. I was like, what? And he was like, well, where you at? I said, I'm right around the corner from you, right around the corner, right by the GameStop. And he was like, are you kidding me? You coming to class? I said, don't straight. I came to class. I was coming to class every single day. So I would go around the corner, come up from work, go home, change, go to class and train. Then I would walk all the way down to see my friend on the other end, and that's how I ended up bumping into my boy Howard. Me and him became good and best friends, and we hung out every single day, and I was training him, and then after that, I met his family, and I became real tight with the family. I was invited to barbecues and get-togethers and birthday parties and everything. You coming to the party? Yes, I am. And I became tight-knit with them. And then I seen they had an empty room, and I said, well, I'm looking to leave where I'm at, and y'all can use extra money. You know who I am. At the end of the day, I'm not a stranger walking into your house. Y'all all know me. And they agreed, and I moved it over there. And that's where I came into this company. That's where the Lord blessed me to. I was working on computers and all that other stuff over there. At that particular time, between losing everything that I had and living on the streets, and that time, that's where I found myself with Christ again. That's why I was able to find him again. He had to clear all that nonsense out of my path so I could see him, because I couldn't see him. I was under a mountain of money and jewelry and all this other stuff, and mine almost got killed a couple of times in this process. Why? I felt that God protected me the entire time, because I was supposed to be shot to death. There was actually a hit put on me to be killed because of the jewelry and things that I had that I was buying in a really violent neighborhood, and people seen this coming up. We had people that I used to do business with, which at that time when I got out with preaching to them, telling them how I'm a Christian, I don't do this anymore, and you turn around, you're like, wait a minute, isn't this the same person who just said he wasn't a Christian? Look at the stuff he has on it. And I was dressed every day, new gear, I had Jordans every day. So they said, oh, he must be doing something. So I was sparking their curiosity, and the devil knew all this. The devil knew at the same time, as he's feeding me and I'm making this money, he's sparking curiosity. Look at him over there. Look at all the money he's making over there. Such and so, and this and that, so and so and so. And he comes to me and says, "This is what you need to do today. You're going to make this money from this person, that person, so and so and so. Oh, look at that ring in the window. I know you want that right there. That's a beautiful ring right there. But you're going to have to work real hard to get that kind of money. You know where to get the money from." See how he was working his web The entire time, I didn't even see it coming. So the entire time I'm walking downtown and see the women looking at me, and I got the nice clothes, got the money in my pocket, and people, I feel like a superstar every single day I walk outside the house. And every time I see some new leather jacket, $1,800, $2,000 jacket, I'm like, yeah, I want that right there. I walk into a City Blues. You know how City Blues is? The women walk up to you, they're real pretty and all. You want to impress them, so you buy the most expensive items there, You come in, you're a regular. They know you, stuff like that. The owner knows you because you're regular. You spend money, what kind of person? You're a serious customer. So that was putting me in areas to be at to get that keep that adrenaline going. So as I'm in there and I'm buying, and go, oh, look at that jacket, $1,800, $1,800 jacket, and I'm walking in a violent neighborhood, things are going to pop off, stuff is going to happen. And then the people who I don't do business with are looking at me like the devil's popping in their head too, like, look at him over there. Look, didn't he just tell you that he wasn't doing that anymore? And look at him across the street. That's like a slap in your face. You got to do something about that. You can't let that guy do that. There you go. And he's doing it at the same time while he's talking to me, talking about, oh, you need to buy this and do that and do that and do this and that and the other. Hey, you're setting everything up for me to be murdered. So one day, just going back to this era, I had a 4-finger ring with the word Adidas across it. I had a gold medallion. We all know it was a real heavy medallion because it was. I'd be laying on the floor. But it was, the medallion, big, thick gold rope with a huge Adidas symbol because I loved Adidas at the time. I had Adidas symbol on the front, and I had a large Egyptian ring. I had a panther on one side. I had a couple other big rings. My hands was covered in big gold rings. So usually when you live in a neighborhood like that, you have blocks that you have to stay on. These are your blocks with your people. And even in within the day, but at least you're in the block with your people. To walk off that block dressed like that is a death wish because you never know on another side of the block who they may be connected to, and their intention is not to let you walk through with that kind of merchandise on it. They will rob you for it or just murder you in the process. So as you're on your block, if you decide to walk off that block, you cannot leave with the stuff you have. You have to break it down, change it out. Now, some people go bold and they are lucky to go to one end to the next. Maybe who maybe you got a lot of pull that way where you can walk from block to block to block and nobody won't touch you. And some people don't come off that lucky. Some people get caught up by somebody who don't know you at the end of the day and don't care about your status or who you are in the neighborhood. They're just going to take what you got. So it's best that when you leave off these blocks, take your stuff off and hang with your crew and carry as you're going through. And literally, this is how it is. So this is how it was for me. I'm not saying for everybody, but this is how it was for me. So as I know I'm going through certain areas, either you take your jewelry off, put it in your pockets, and you zip up. Just like women would know when they wear the big earrings, take your earrings off, put them in your bag because people will snatch your earrings off, snatch your chain off, or whatever. Just make sure when you go in certain areas, you're going by yourself. You're going like you actually are smoking something at the end of the day. Don't want to look like a bum, but don't look like you got money either. So as I'm coming off the neighborhood, I'm going up to the park to play some ball. Of course, I'm not wearing that stuff, I'm running ball. So I put everything upstairs on my dresser. I go to run ball with my friends. We go up to the park, having some fun, and I heard the dogs barking before I got in the ride. And I'm thinking like, I should go in the house and investigate this. But I'm thinking, nah, I got I had 2 German Shepherds, I had them in the basement. They're good, because I went to ripping up the house, I got them in the basement, we're good. Ain't nothing. Dogs always bark about every little thing in this neighborhood anyway. So as I drive off, we go, I come back in. Mother comes in from church. Doors open, cops are outside. I'm like, what's going on? We got robbed. I go upstairs, jewelry's gone. Now they take the jewelry, They took, no. That's the first time we got robbed. They came and broke in. The second time, this was the crackhead on the other side of the block. He's not on the side of the block, he lived 4 houses down from me. Their family member, their uncle was on drugs. But, he was like kind of a harmless dude. He washed cars and stuff like that. He's not really kind of thievery like that. But anyway, he broke in. He climbed across the rooftops, took a pillowcase, lie to you not, the epic pillowcase is a real thing. Came to the window, my German Shepherds were downstairs, I was at a ball game, took my jewelry and left. Now, when I found out about this, of course I was furious. I grabbed my gun. I was going to go down the street, I was going to kill him. Because you're not going to get away with that nonsense. You're going to break in my house, take my stuff, and get away with this nonsense. I'm going to put a bullet in your head. So I got my gun, I loaded up. I was walking down the street. One of my friends stopped me and said, nope,
You don't want to do this. I said, I don't give a darn about his family, who they're connected to. You don't steal from me. Then I got to go down there. I got to take care of this. He said, no, you don't want to do this. You need to reward this man. I said, reward him for what? He stole from me. He said, you need to reward him because he saved your life. Found out there was a hit put on me for my jewelry. They were going to kill me that day, that afternoon, because usually when I come in from a ball game, you know, sweaty, dirty, whatever, I go in and change, I put my regular gear on, right? Go chill in the corner with my boys with the boombox playing the music, having fun. There was a car that was supposed to drive up when I left my crew. Usually somebody was watching me as I was doing my everyday pattern. So when I would leave my crew, I would walk around the corner, go back into the house. That's who they were going to get me. I think I would have got shot right over there by Mr. Frank, because that would be the one last area that I would walk through where I'm actually open. So they were going to shoot me there, kill me, and take my jewelry. But because the crackhead or drug user robbed me, I didn't have it. There's nothing to kill me for. Man, when I found out about that and they told me that, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I said, yes, the boys on the other side, they were gonna do it. Now, my sister in the neighborhood, she knew everybody. If something was gonna happen, she was connected, she knew everything was going on. She confirmed it that night. I was gonna be killed that day. I was gonna be shot that day. And she was happy to see me alive. I was like, yeah, but the guy down the street took my jewelry. I don't have anything, it's gone. And I said, well, you need to go down there, you need to hook him up. And that's what I did. Went down the street. He thought I was going to kill him. Gave him $500. Bought him all some nice clothes. Took him out to eat for a nice steak dinner. And every time I went down to see him, I always put a little money in his pocket. Every single day when I see him, I put money in his pocket. Made him one of my friends. He didn't steal from me, none of that. I had no problem with that. He just stole from me that one time, and that's it. But it's a good thing he did steal from me, because if he didn't steal from me, I'd be dead. But eventually, like I said, going back to when I moved and came home and everything was gone, and living out on the street, that's when the Lord took everything from me. And I had to leave the neighborhood, the hustle, and everything behind, and had to work regular jobs. I was working regular jobs, and I had to. Yeah, I guess I had to. I wasn't making the money I was making. And the Lord humbled me, and that's where I needed to be at. And that's where I got myself back together with Christ and the Lord. And I was serving Him when I was going through that transition, when I was renting out rooms and going here and going there. And it wasn't an easy path. I went through some really bad stuff when I was renting out rooms. So people stole from me, people robbed me, I got beat up a few times, and I went through some stuff. So I had to go through that transition. The Lord protected me, but I had to go through a little HE double hockey sticks in the process. So when things got together, when things settled out, and I was living up in Huntington Park, things were good. I was going back into training with my sensei. I was getting my advanced training. I wasn't that top notch. I think it was only somewhere between a green belt at that particular time, or before I got back in. And I was able to go around and go back to him, get my study, train with him, meet more of the family, stuff like that. And like go back home, had a nice little room I was renting out. That's when I had an Xbox 360 that told you the area it was in. So anyway, and that's when I bumped in and met my boy Howie, and me and him became best friends and moved in with his family. And in that room that I was in, this is where digital and crystal screen paint I was blessed with it. And now, here I am. Somebody said, you should write a book. Huh? I don't know. But, yeah, it's my road to Christ. You know, some people in life, my mom used to say that some people take the easy road. They do. They take the easy road. They go into church and they get saved and get baptized and they stay with the Lord and they take the easy road. Mr. Bird, on the other hand, stubborn, hard-headed, stiff-necked, do what I want to, arrogant, everything else you can name on the face of the book, which was me, took the long, difficult road. I got there, but I took the long, but I needed to take the long road because of the kind of person that I was. And I'm glad I went through everything that I had to go through. Ooh, I went through some stuff, but I'm glad I did. And the entire time, God protected me. Every single day, He protected me when I was out there. Because He had a purpose for me, and that was my purpose. Learned a lot of things on the road of being not being a Christian and being a Christian. I learned valuable lessons about how you treat God's people at the end of the day can have some awkward outcomes. And I'm lying to you not, it can. If I was doing business with a Christian and me and him got into words, we both as men of God have to back up and say, hey, look, We are both doing the same purpose. We are both serving the Lord. For us to fight each other is wrong. That's what the devil wants. So if we can't decide on it, we have to leave it up to God for him to make the final decision. But we can't fight among ourselves. We can't. Because, again, we serve a purpose. We serve the Lord. We're at war with the devil, not at war with ourselves. So that's something we have to learn to do. And Christians will fight with Christians, and you're not supposed to do that because that's what Satan wants. If you two can't work it out, then you go before the Lord and let him work it out for you. That's what you do. So, you learn things as you go along. You don't threaten another Christian because the outcome of it can be extremely bad. I pray that God has mercy on you and shows you mercy, but if he doesn't, the outcome can be pretty bad. And I know from personal experience, which I will never forget as long as I live, when I was out there running those streets and carrying on, I told you about how my sister's husband, real serious, hardcore Christian, both of them. And my mother was going to church. She didn't want us out running the streets because again, no common sense. And she had them come down to go watch us. I'm 16 at the time. I'm a grown man. I'm an adult. I don't want to be bothered with that nonsense. I'm going to run the street with my boys. I'm going to do what I want to do. Yeah. So, mistake I made at the end of the day was not leaving out the house is what I said before I left out of the house. So as he comes up to me, he tells me, look, man, he wasn't mean or nasty. He was a very kind person. Look, man, sit in the house, watch a little TV, I'll order some pizza, we'll have some fun together. Man, if you don't get the freak out of my face before I shoot you in your face, that's what I told him. I want to shoot a Christian in his face. Didn't care. Didn't have no remorse to people. I told you I was a different person. I didn't have remorse to human life at that particular time. I was that kind of person. I told him I was going to shoot this man in his face. Did he get upset? No, he didn't get upset. He looked at me, put his head down, he walked away. I ain't think nothing of it. Boy, things react real quick, real fast when you threaten one. And I learned the hard way that day, and a couple other days I learned an extremely hard lesson. As I walked out the door, my crew, I walked right through them. Literally, they were sitting on the corner. So I walked right through the crew. The crew went the opposite way. I guess they went down the other end and sit down on my boy Todd's porch. And I walked through, came around the corner. I was going to go down the street, and I was going to go to Sam's place to go pick up some food and come back around and chill with my boys. As I was walking around the corner, I seen two people pop out of the cut. Didn't see their faces, didn't see what they looked like, but I saw the gun. I saw the gun placed right up on my forehead. Brace yourself, Negro. Give it up. So I saw the gun sitting on my head. I saw the bullets revolver, both sitting in the chamber. And all he had to do was squeeze the trigger, and I was gone. When even I already made my peace with God, I was going to go. And I sat there, and all I could hear was, wasn't screaming in my head to my, oh God, this is it. I'm going to die. It's going to happen. Oh, I'm not going to see my mom anymore. I'm not going to see my people anymore. This is how my life is going to end. I live in this neighborhood all this time. You mean to tell me this is how, that didn't even cross my mind. It was, I'll shoot you in the face. 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 That's all I could hear is what I was saying to my brother-in-law. I'll shoot you in the face. I'll shoot you in the face. I'll shoot you in the face. That was the same thing I said I was going to do to him, happened to me. So, they didn't pull the trigger yet. I'm figuring either they're young or I don't know what I can't see them. All I saw is I see the bottom half of what they have on. I don't see their face. I can't see their face, but I'm looking at this gun, but I don't see any face there. So I'm thinking, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to push him. If I push him, if the gun goes off, at least if I might have a fighting chance to get out of this. So I push him. The guy falls down. I started running. I started zigzagging from left to right because I figured if I'm zigzagging, if he gets me in the leg, maybe if he gets me in the back, somewhere if he gets me, at least I can crawl to the block to get to my boys. I get around there. I start yelling, yo, they trying to stick me up. They sticking me up. My boys get up. They start locking and loading, running around the corner. Nobody's there. We get my boys riding, riding around the block, up and down around the area. Hey, have you seen somebody who's wearing this? Now I can describe what sneaks and half-part shirt and rest of them. We don't know what these people are. 2 freaking days riding around looking for these people don't even exist. And nobody knows who they are. But within that 2 days, everybody in the neighborhood wanted to murder me. Sitting outside, eating some food, guy drives up in the car, stares right into my eye, takes a gun gesture, puts it to his head. What was that all about? Every day. Walking into the same store every day, bump into the same people every day. Just happened to bump into this one guy. He wants to shoot me in the face. Every time I turn around, somebody wants to kill me on that day when I walk out the door. Now I'm paranoid because I'm figuring I did something wrong along the way. I know what I did, but I'm so full of pride. I don't want to go apologize to my Christian brother to let him know that I made a mistake, because I don't make mistakes. I'm perfect. That's how I was. I don't make mistakes. I am perfect. I'm not going to come into him. I'm not going to grovel before him. I don't grovel before other people. I won't grovel before him. But every day I walk outside, it got worse and worse and worse and worse. Then I started coming up with other ideas. Maybe I burnt somebody along the way, but then again, I don't burn people and all kinds of stuff. If you burn people, yeah, you definitely have to get murdered quick. So, I'm pretty honest and upfront. Or maybe somebody burned somebody in my group and I got blamed for it. Something went wrong along the way. Someone's trying to kill me, or people are trying to kill me. But every night I go to sleep, I know why it was. It would just dig into me like, you got to go back and ask for forgiveness. You have to go ask for forgiveness. You have to ask for forgiveness. And every day it would get worse and worse and worse, and to the point it was like, okay, I can't deal with this no more. So I wanted to ask them, you have to be sincere in your heart. You can't walk in and go, oh, hey, sorry about that, my bad, about shooting you in the face, we're good. Can't do that. You have to be sincere. I cried in front of him. I apologized. I shouldn't have did that. Your family. Who am I to come at you and tell you I'm going to kill you at the end of the day? That's wrong. And the Lord saw that I was sorry in my heart. And because of this, it stopped. Walked outside the door, never saw those people ever again. Things were back to normal, somewhat. But I learned things down through time that, can't hide behind your Bible as a Christian, because I see Christians doing that. Bible hiders. The Bible hiders. The Bible hiders. The Bible hiders. People that will know that the Lord will protect them, and they will use that in a way to be able to do things that they should be doing. And then the minute the heat hits the fan, they'll hide behind their Bible. You can't hide behind your Bible, because God knows what you did. And if God knows what you did, then you are going to have to answer for what you did. You're not going to get away with that. So that's not going to happen. I've seen many of those go to the church, and you see these people in church, and they'll be holier than thou. That's what they would be. And they'd be the ones telling you about your stuff at the end of the day. And these are the same people that you would see out in front of a bar, or outside cursing and carrying on. I've seen people even curse out, hey, I'm watching you. Yeah, I see you too. Wow. What you want to do? You want to fight? You want to fight? Huh? You want to fight? I'll be downstairs. Is he downstairs? Is he downstairs? Let me put some food up there ahead of time for Francis, because I don't know when Francis is going to pop up. Come on. I'm not so distant yet. Sorry, keep going. Francis! Francis! Yeah, Francis. my stray cat, Francis. One day, Francis will trust me. I can bring him in and rub his belly. One day. I really will. And, let me do the brushing quick. Here. All right. So yeah, that's why I got a company started. God blessed me to have a company. That's why I always put down, God is amazing on all my videos because he is amazing. Saved my life. Made me a whole other person. And every once in a while, Christians fall. Christians fall. Christians step up and make mistakes because we still live in a cursed body. If anybody believes that a Christian is not going to make a mistake, that's wrong. He is going to make mistakes. He's going to make lots of mistakes. Lots and lots of mistakes. But the important thing is that he's sorry for these mistakes he makes, and he tries his hardest to become better. Just like a person who's an alcoholic, when they come off from drinking and they go through the step process, they're going to make mistakes. As they're going up that road, they're going to fall up that mountain. Some make it up the mountain and don't fall. Some people fall up the mountain a couple of times, but eventually they get to the top and they win. But they're going to make mistakes. But you got to give them people. At the end of the day, they go before the Lord, and the Lord says, "Okay, hey, you made a mistake. Pick yourself up. Here you go. Go back up the mountain." Then you have people out there say, "Oh, he's a Christian. He's supposed to be perfect. So and so." If I was perfect, I wouldn't be here at all. I'd be in heaven right now. If I was perfect, there's no reason for me to be here on the earth. Yeah, I was like, okay, you can go home now. Thank you. I'll be going. So Christians are going to make mistakes. They're going to succumb to sin, but they have to remember to fight these things. Fight them as hard as you possibly can. And it's very hard to do. But we do slip up, we do make mistakes, and we go ask for forgiveness. This is the reason why Jesus Christ sacrificed himself on the cross so man can be forgiven for his sins. Because at one point in Old Testimony, that wasn't so. If you read Old Testimony, you'd be thankful that Jesus Christ died on the cross because they kind of dealt with adultery in a different way back then. Your entire family was thrown into a pit and you were stoned to death. Yes, she was. If you were a woman of the night and you were out there doing all that stuff you see on TikTok, people, you were thrown into a pit and you were stoned to death. And not only were you stoned to death, your entire bloodline was cut off. So they didn't play around then. And at that particular time, God did come down and speak to man. And it was not something, you would want God to come down on a good note. You wouldn't want God to come down on a bad note. There was a good chance you were going to get smite. So God was a little bit more stricter in the Old Testament. But as at that particular time, the Jews were the chosen ones, and they were the only ones actually welcomed into the kingdom of heaven. We weren't. So when Jesus came down, put himself on the cross and died for everyone, he gave everybody the opportunity to go to heaven. So, a man, by Jesus doing this, we can be forgiven for our sins, but you have to be serious about this. You can't go, okay, that's like me walking across the street, spitting in your face and go, oh, my bad, I'm sorry, didn't mean to do that. And I do that same thing every single day. That's not a person who's sorry at the end of the day. You have to be sincere and be sorry for what you've done and try your hardest not to do it. And the devil knows your weaknesses because he's going to use those very same weaknesses to try to pull you down. And at the same time, you have to resist those weaknesses so that way you can keep in the light with the Lord. It's a back and forth war between the flesh, the body, the mind, and the soul all day. There are days where I'll be on the phone and I'm triggered. I can lose my temper really fast and I have to comment, what would Jesus do? This is not going to be Jesus at the end of the day. This is not how he would act up. This is not how his person's going to be. You have to treat people how you would want to be treated. Little things I have to quote in my head, Bible verses, to keep myself away from the devil. The devil's just like, I'm going to push him today. See if I can get him upset, get him to snap, do something that a Christian wouldn't do so people can sit there and prosecute him. We know what the devil does. So that's what he does. But if a Christian, he gets back up. And the Lord says, okay, you're forgiven. Go back up your mountain. And a sinner comes along and takes the sin that a Christian has done and tries to keep hitting him with it. Oh, you have no idea. And I hope God is merciful towards you. I pray that he is. but you don't know the destruction at hand that will come towards you. It's going to be really bad. Trust me, from a person who's lived in that side of the world. You do not want to be or deal with people that were like me in my timeline, or basically anybody's timeline that was the kind of person I was when I was in my 20s. If the Lord says, okay, this is how you want to treat my people, I'm going to turn my back to you and I'm going to let that thing off the leash, which I mean Satan off his leash. Because there are people far worse than what I was. I've seen some really bad people in that particular time when I was in that era. I'm not trying to say I'm the biggest, baddest God of his planet, because I'm not. There are people out there that are far more insane and crazier than I was. When I was in my 20s, and not 20s, but I was in my 16 and 17 years in that area doing dumb stuff. There were more people that were way crazier than things that I've done. But still, you don't want those kind of people entering your life at all, period. So, it's careful how you treat Christians at the end of the day. Because, again, remember, the only reason why you're able to go outside the house and not be gunned down or something crazy happen, because God is watching over you. And for some people saying, well, what about the people that it happens to? Well, again, I keep explaining to people, everybody's on borrowed time. We're all on borrowed time. Hey, I might not wake up tomorrow, but at least I know where I'm going. I'm good with that. But we're all on borrowed time. Because I get that all the time when people say, well, you see Christians die on the street because it's their time to go home. It's their time. We're all here on borrowed time. No one lives forever. We are all on borrowed time. Our very lives that belong to us do not belong to us. But getting back to the whole thing about taking a Christian sin and throwing it in his face, not a good thing. That's why I look at it and I feel sorry for these people when they do this, because I know that they're waking it up. So you may want to chill on that. I mean, it's up to you. You can go down that road and keep going it, but I've seen the other half of what that life is and what dwells on that side. And trust me, you don't want anything like that popping up at your front door, wanting to have a little conversation with you. Not saying me, because I'm not a part of that life anymore. I am happy to be free from that as far can be. Thank Jesus on that one. I'm happy to be where I'm at now. But you will actually open up opportunities for that one to cause some trouble for you. But anyway, as I said before, yeah. We talk about God every time he comes on here. Yeah, I love talking about the Lord. The Lord saved my life. You have no idea. You have no idea. I went through the whole 9 yards of it all, man. I went to being homeless and being starving and not having enough to eat, and almost dying a few times, and freaking went to the court system and was living the other side of the crazy part of life, living in ultra-violent neighborhoods and everything under the face of the sun. And I'm here today talking about God. The same person who basically, I mean, I've done some crazy stuff. I want to just tell you one little thing, At that particular time, I wasn't a fan of Christians. I couldn't stand them. I hated them. That's the devil in me. And in that world, I hated Christians. Couldn't stand them. Didn't like anything about them. Mind you, I wasn't one at the time. That's when I was out here, before I got locked up. I hated Christians. I thought they were fakes and phonies and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. I thought it was all a cult, and they all go in there, a bunch of idiots at the end of the day, and they're serving God. Ugh. Mind you, I was raised in a Christian household, but I still came out that way. And I never forget, one day, this preacher came in the house with my mom. This young guy came in the house. This is where things I've learned when I was out there running the streets and carrying on. And as I became a Christian, I realized how God protects his people. Now, mind you, I'm a very violent person. I mean, I'm out there doing beating, fighting, shooting, whatever, carrying on. I didn't kill anybody, thank God, but burning people's houses to the ground. So I was doing some destructive stuff, man. Your money, blow your car up. Your money, burn your house down. Your money, take your dog. Stuff like that. I was real destructive. So it was like, didn't care about people. At the end of the day, pay me. Only thing I cared about was money. Money was my God. So the preacher came in the house. I was in the house. I was going to be going out in a few minutes. And he started talking to me about the Lord. That triggered me. That ticked me off. I was going to kill him. I was going to kill a preacher. I walked into his church. I wasn't armed with a gun because I didn't want to use a gun in church. I came in there with a 15-inch Bowie. I was going to stab him to death. I'm being honest with you. I'm telling you exactly what I was. I don't want to hold anything from you. This is who I am. This is what I was at that particular time. Some people don't want to tell you about this kind of stuff. I'm telling you about this kind of stuff because at the end of the day, I'm happy. This is why you see me right. God is amazing on everything. Why I praise him every day, because if I was the person I was those many years ago, this would be a whole different story. And that's why I thank him, because he saved my life from my own self. But I came in there with a 15-inch Bowie to stab this man to death. I was going to kill him as he got to his car. I was going to take his life. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Like I was locked. I'm sitting there and I can hear the devil talking in my ear, talking about, we're going to take care of this man. This man's not going to exist anymore. The devil sent used me to go in there and do his work, to take out this man of God. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't look at him. I couldn't get up from the chair. I couldn't move. It's like something had just held me in that spot so long that I was so frustrated that I got up and I walked out of the church. And it never looked at the man, never talked to him, nothing ever again. That's when I realized too, when I became saved later on, learning from my past on how God protected others, is that I learned that how God protects people at the end of the day. So if somebody can put a death threat on me, want to kill me, want to murder me, whatever, it'll never happen. Because unless it's my time to go home, and maybe that's the way the Lord's going to have me go home, or it's just not going to happen. That's all to it. And it was not going to happen like that for that preacher, because I couldn't do it. And I was talking to my buddies about doing it. What happened? So I couldn't do it. I couldn't even look the man in the face. I sat right there. I just couldn't move. I was just encaptured. Just couldn't move. I wasn't encaptured to the point where I wouldn't become saved. I just couldn't do anything at all. Period. My brain was just not there. It was gone. Like nothing was there. The thought of killing this man was not there. I sat down. I remember walking to the church and I was staring right at him. As I sat down, I put my hand in my jacket, I put my blade, because I had a little area there. I had my blade sitting on my side. And I was right there. I was ready. I wanted him to see him, that I was there to take his life. And I couldn't do it. It wasn't going to happen. He was protected by the God. He was protected by my Lord, not God. It's God. He was protected by God. So I walked out, took the knife, threw it in the trash. I didn't want nothing to do with the blade. I didn't even want it on me. I didn't want to touch it. Threw it in the trash. When you go talk to me, what happened? I said, I couldn't do it. I'm not doing it. I don't even want to walk. I didn't want to walk past the church. I walked around an entire block just to avoid the church. So, yeah. Now, when I became a Christian, I got my life together. I stood off the road for money for about 2 years. And then that's why I don't chase money. Today, I just don't chase money. I'm not obsessed with it because I know what it did to me. When people hear me say that, oh, you could have sold your technology for millions of dollars, and I've had opportunities come my way. Diamond, all the different companies that were interested in my technology, I had many opportunities to sell out and become rich. But I don't want that kind of money at the end of the day, because I know that kind of money will allow me to lose my salvation, because I know the deep demons that I have inside of me will be awakened, and I don't want that in life. I want to be able to serve the Lord. I'd rather be poor and have nothing and serve him than be rich and have everything. I am comfortable, and I like being comfortable. I'm not wanting to have all this money, but if I did have all that money, I know myself that I know I would share a lot of it. I know I would do to help other people get on their feet. That's what I would do. But also I know this will give Satan an amazing arsenal to come after me, which I don't want. So I like the way my life is, where I'm comfortable, not rich. And if the God blesses me to become rich, I pray even harder that he protects me even more against what's out there waiting for me to try to spindle this craziness into my life. So I become that person again. And I'm not going to be that person again for anybody. I don't care who you are, what you make. And that's why I don't chase money. So people ask me questions about when I say, oh no, I don't chase money. That is the reason why. Because I lost my salvation for a couple of years for money. And I'm happy to get it back. That void is gone. I don't have it anymore. I have the Lord. And I'm happy. So, this is Mr. Bird. A bit of Mr. Bird's life and struggles and things I had to go through. But I tell you one thing, the best achievement that I have in my life is knowing Christ. That's my best achievement. There we go. I have to learn that when these people come against me, that you have to understand, I don't see, when people come against me in a real nasty attitude, I have to remind myself that that's the devil. That's the devil coming after me. When I see people doing evil things against me, calling me nasty names, making memes about me, I got to remind myself that is a human being at the end of the day, and that's the devil using him. And that's how I can see it. I'm seeing Satan himself. And that's how I look at it. And that's how the Lord has allowed me to look at it. These people allow the devil to use them. I still have to protect my company. And the Lord protects my company. He teaches me how to do things and how we take care of things. And I expose these demons for how they need to be seen, for what they are. Because the devil will sit there right next to you in a board meeting. He'll have the best suit, nice clothes. He can talk perfect. Just comes out of his mouth like silk. And he'd be right there. He would sit there and tell you all the things that you want to hear. All the things you want to hear in business. Hit all the right notes, everything. But deep down behind that person is the most evil thing you've ever seen in your entire life. Most hideous looking creature you've ever seen in your life. Sitting there as he's talking to you, smiling across the table. And that's why when I start talking about the Lord, he stops, ground comes down. You don't know how to work with that at the end of the day. Oh yeah, my Lord blessed me, teach me how to do this and teach me how to do that. And I put all this in the Lord's hands and the Lord this and the Lord this and the Lord that. He don't like that at the end of the day. All his plans are going out the window. And then I can see, as I talk about the Lord, I can see the wolf in the sheep's clothing. And like I said, when at the end of the day, as I said before, you have to put everything in God's hands because God protects you against everything. He protects your business, he protects your life, everything. And I can see, when I go into a business meeting, when I tell you that I can see things and read things and understand things, I can tell the intentions of what people are up to. God allows me to see that. As for people that I'm doing business with, when I explain to you, you can't steal from me. You can't take from me. You can't take the very blessing that he has given to me and use it to make money off of it. It won't work. Your business will crumble, will fall apart. God will not bless your hand. All that I have is from my Lord and Savior. Everything he gives me is his blessings. And if you try to steal my blessings and try to use them to profit, to make money, it means you're doing the work of the devil. And that means you will not prosper. I get full of big, beautiful diamonds. And I could be doing business with somebody. Wow, this is the biggest diamonds I've ever seen. They're amazing. Now, like I said, yeah, the Lord blessed me with this. This is the blessing from the Lord. And that man will sit over there. His intentions are not to basically take those diamonds and we make more diamonds together, make more diamonds and we make good money. His intentions are to take that from me and use it for his own personal good and put his own name on it and make it for him and him only. So he'll get the opportunity, he'll get the trust to go in and get those diamonds. And he'll take those diamonds back. They'll look beautiful as can be. But the minute that thought comes in for him to take those diamonds as himself, they will turn black as coal. This is what I explain to people in business. So much more you could have if you just learn to be honest, but you choose to be greedy. Now you have nothing. That's a better way of putting it. So this is the reason why when I go to business meetings, I give my story. And my story is, why do you fight for the crumbs below when there's a full course meal over top of you? So we give you a little bit of technology and you basically fight over this, not knowing what we can design many years down the road. You miss that amazing dinner over top to fight for those little crumbs on the floor. Shame. And that's what we see in business all the time. Do I worry about people stealing and taking my idea? No one's been ever even able to duplicate our stuff. I've been in business for over 12 years. And not one person has ever duplicated our technology. Not one. Because God does all that. He protects all that. No one. They tried. But, again, they never matched any of our best demonstrations. I get caught up, I talk about the Lord.
I love talking about Jesus. I love talking about it. I do.
So you're supposed to be paying I do. Because, Christians, we have a job, and our job is to talk about the Lord, to preach and talk about the Lord, like Jesus did. Jesus came down and he talked about his Father. He preached, he talked about the Lord. You don't want to become a lazy Christian. That you don't want to be. Sorry, I get a little choked up when I talk about God. But you don't want to be a lazy Christian. A lazy Christian is a person who knows about the Lord, and I was a lazy Christian, tell you that much right there. You don't want to be that person, because a lazy Christian is a person that will know about the goodness of the Lord and how he can better your life and tell you nothing about it. He will keep it to himself. Maybe he'll be embarrassed. Some people are a little shy about preaching about the Lord, but there's other ways you can do it. You don't have to talk on a camera. You can pass out pamphlets. There's other ways you can do to talk about the Lord, but you don't want to be that lazy Christian that doesn't talk about God at all. Thank goodness my mother wasn't a lazy Christian. Think about that one right there. If my mother was a lazy Christian, I wouldn't have known anything about Christ. I wouldn't have had that upbringing. I mean, even though I was doing the stuff, I still had that upbringing in there. It was still lodged in there. It just wasn't awakened yet. She was a lazy Christian when I was sitting in the lockup for his Bible. That's the Bible that built me to be a man of Christ. I read that Bible every day when I was in lockup. And that's what led me on the road to know that what I wanted in life was to serve the Lord. So by her not being a lazy Christian, it's what I am now. So that's why it's important that I preach and talk about the Lord, because maybe somebody may be going through some stuff or whatever, and they may be looking for an outlet, someone to talk to, someone to be able to talk to get through what they're going through, and don't realize that the Lord has been there the entire time. And if it helps them get through what they're going through, they got that bond with them, and the devil won't have that grip on them anymore, then so be it. Why not? Now, the devil in the back of my head is saying, don't talk about God on your channel. When you talk about God on your channel, you're going to lose money. People are not going to do business with you. They don't want to hear about the Lord at the end of the day. When you're ruining yourself. No, that's the devil telling you that dumb nonsense. God provides everything for you. So if God provides everything for you, what the devil just told you was a complete lie. Like he told Jesus to jump off the cliff. Hey, how about you jump off this cliff? Because, you're God at the end of the day. Your Father's up there. And if you jump, sure, he's going to send his angels to save you before you dash your foot on the rocks. So how about you go up there and show me how much man of God you are and jump off that cliff? Now, mind you, he could call in the angels to save him. He could. Hey, when they had him up there on the cross, he could have called in a legion, 10,000 legions of angels. Easily. But he didn't do it. He didn't do it because he had a purpose to be there, to sacrifice himself so we can be saved, so I can be saved, so I can go to heaven, so I can see God's face one day, so I can have that opportunity. So the devil tempted him so many times. Go ahead, jump off the cliff. You jump off this cliff. As far as you can see, all this can be yours. It was never yours to begin with, Satan. None of this is yours to begin with. This belongs to God. It's already mine. Do not tempt the Lord your God. So, again, like I said, Satan will get there and say, oh, don't talk about the Lord. You talk about the Lord and, your business will go down and this, that, and the other, so and so, and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Don't talk about God. Don't add God in this. Don't. Women talk about him. But yet, think about it. It's the Lord who blessed me with the idea to do this. Isn't that interesting how twisted the devil is? So you don't want me to talk about God because you feel that I'm going to lose money by talking about God. But God is the one who blessed me with the technology to make the money. You twisted demon.
Yeah. We don't listen. I had this investor one time. It was an interesting contract.
So I had this investor, right? Who saw me on Facebook. Sorry about the socks, people. It's all I had. But I had this investor on Facebook. I never forget this guy. And he at this particular time, I didn't put God was amazing on a lot of my stuff. I really wasn't doing it at the time. I should have been, but I wasn't. But anyway, I met this investor, and he wanted to invest in my company. So, hold on a minute. Let me get this straight, because we got to get this worked on. I love talking about the Lord, but the Lord also talks about being lazy. I'm not trying to be lazy, I'm trying to get the work done. I should be learning both at the same time. But anyway, I'm pretty sure I can talk and walk at the same time. I think I can. I'm not sure, but I think I can. But anyway, as I said before, this guy was going to invest all this money into my company. And are we going to put a giant screen? I haven't decided what to do with this area yet. So he's going to invest all his money into my company. And he wanted a certain percentage of my company. And he had these other investors. They all had money too. All of them had money. And they had, you go to the Facebook page, I always go to my Facebook page to see what kind of person I was dealing with, to fill them out. And they had a lot of expensive cars and big houses and, houses and vacation areas, stuff like that. So they had money. So he was who he was. Because sometimes you bump into people who claim to have things and they don't. So this guy was very well put together, very well connected, a lot of business ties, stuff like that. So as we're having this conversation, he is interested in investing in the company and receiving a part of my company for a considerable amount of money. So we had this conversation with his friends. His friends meet up, the other investors come in and they meet up and they start talking about his conference on the phone. They were talking about the technology I was developing, and they wanted to put in $500,000 for I think 35% of my company. I know it's should be a lot more money than that, but again, I'm young. I'm not young, you know what I mean, but not much business experience. So as we're having this conversation about this money, $500,000 for 35% of my company, the guy in the meeting goes, "So, where'd you get the idea from?" And I go, "I got it from God. He blessed me to get the idea. All this comes from him, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ." And they started laughing on the phone. They started laughing in the conference. And the guy was, "Well, I believe you got some inspiration from him, but where did you really get it from?" Click on the phone. That was in the conversation. You don't laugh about my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Again, as I explained to you before, what I want to do with money. Money costs money, almost cost me my salvation. And I'm not impressed by what you drive and what you own and what you have and who you know, because I know God at the end of the day. My Lord has more connections than you. My Lord has everything that you have belongs to him anyway. When you leave off the earth, you will not take it with you. It will stay here. That's what will stay. So what you have already belongs to him. Even though you think it's yours, it's never yours. If it was, you could take it with you, and you cannot take it with you. Think about it. You spend all this money for security system and dogs and all this to protect what is yours, that when you leave, it will stay here. It was never yours to begin with. So the things you offer me, my Lord can give it to me easy. If it is my time to have it at that time. If it is not, then it's not meant to be. So I don't look at contracts that way. When they laughed about the Lord, I hung the phone up. So the guy thought it was a bad connection, because who in their right mind would hang up on them with all the money and connections? Who would pass up an opportunity to work with them? I would do it. Because my Lord comes first, becomes first before you or anyone else. He becomes first. And if you cannot respect him, you disrespect me. And by that, I don't want your business. And that's what I explained to him. So this was the most interesting negotiation. They had already lost, so I was not interested in their money at all. But they wanted to go on and on with it. All right, let's show them how much their money means to me when I make this statement. Because some people, they'll say, okay, he's got some rules. We can throw more money his way, and that way we can convince him to come on board. We can buy him out, or basically he'll sell his soul for this money. I don't think that's going to work already. I've already stood behind my ground when I said, but all right, let's play this game. So they offer me more money. I go, nah, we don't want it. We're good. Well, how much do you want to get in? We lower the price. Negotiations usually don't work out that way. You up the price, right? No, we're dropping the price. So we go for $500,000 to $250,000, $250,000 to $100,000. Every time they come in and ask us about something, we drop the price. Every single time. We come back and we change it. Now it's down to $50,000. Now it's down to 35,000. You know, the more and more you drop on the percentage, the less and less they own of the company. We went from $500,000 to $3,500. Now we're at $50, $25. And they're watching the negotiation drop and drop and drop and drop. See, in their mind, because they have all this money, they figure that, oh, okay, he stands behind his God. We can buy him and his God at the same time. We're just going to offer more money. $500,000, $2 million. He'll easy sell. But they never expect for someone to come in and drop the dollar amount. And that right there, the more we dropped, the more and more they became humble, the more and more we stripped away whatever power they thought they had. When it got down to $15, they figured that it wasn't worth their time, and it definitely wasn't worth my time, so I would bid you good day. Can't buy everybody. And at the end of the day, you say, well, you could have been $2 million, you could have been rich. At what price? To lose my Lord and Savior? I've been through that one already. I don't want that crap. I'm good. I lost the Lord for so many years because I was worrying about money, and you have no idea the empty void that I had in my chest. No matter what I bought, it didn't fix it. It didn't fill it. I buy new sneakers and clothes and gears. I bought a couple cars, a couple motorcycles, and it just didn't fill the void, that empty air. I was giving away more stuff than I was buying because it wasn't giving me any happiness. And every day I would go past the church and I would see them all out there. That's where I was at. And I would just long to be over there with them, just talking with them and sitting with them and being really happy at the end of the day. But I couldn't go because the money had a hold on me. I couldn't go across the street. I couldn't give up what I had because the money had a hold on me. But then when my mother had moved, where was I going to go? I didn't have a place. I didn't rent out any place at all. Really didn't have any money. I was spending it as fast as I got it. So I was living every day as if it was my last. So I had a little bit of dollars here and there, but I had to sell the very stuff that cost me to lose my salvation to actually survive, to get that money, to be able to live on the streets for a few days, to figure out where am I going to go. And that's where I ended up in Delaware. That's where life started changing for me. God had to strip all that away from me, take it all from me, and say, look, here I am. Buried under all this nonsense, here I am. Never forgot you. Come on in, bring me a hug. So that's why when I sit there on camera and I say, and I hear people, business people in the background that may be listening to this by saying that, oh, we can buy. No, you cannot buy. We can do business. Yes, we can. But if it gets to a point, and I literally have that in contracts, basically about my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, that I can basically walk out of a contract easily if basically it shows any within the guidelines that basically conflicts with my religion. It's in my contract, or contracts we design, because my Lord comes first. Now, that person may not be a Christian at the end of the day. He may be an everyday Joe. But, I don't care what you do on your end, but you're going to learn to respect my product. You're going to involve my product in things that it should not be involved in. This, that, and the others, all within our contracts. That's what it says. But maybe from you being with me and see how I am, maybe you may become a Christian at the end of the day. Hey, that's fantastic. And if you don't, hey, I'm trying to help you out a little bit here and there. And, and if you don't want to hear from me, then maybe God will bless you and you will find your own path to that road. But I'm not going to push it on you. I'm going to give you a chance to be able to talk about it. And if it sinks in and it's what you like, you want to know more about it, we can talk. But if you don't, and you don't want to hear nothing about it, you know what I mean? I'm not going to cut your contract off because of it. No. But Lord, I'll pray and ask the Lord if he can guide you to the right steps to take. And, maybe you'll find a path like I did. And that'll be fantastic. But other than that, if you basically are not about Christ and you feel that this contract's not going to work, if I put the Lord in it, then guess what? We don't have a contract at the end of the day. Bye-bye. We're done. But I couldn't care less what you own. I don't care what you drive. I don't care who you know. I don't care how much money you have in your bank account. I don't care. Because whatever you give to me at the end of the day, trade that for God, it's going to bring me nothing but misery, what you did when I walked away from when I was making all that money. Nothing but misery. No happiness at all. I'm a person that can sit down and I can be covered in paint all day long, and I can sit there and eat a cheese sandwich, watch some cartoons with a cold glass of water, and be happy as happy can be. Because the Lord is sitting right next to me, smiling with me, eating the same sandwich. drinking the same cold glass of water. I love my Lord so much, you have no idea. And I'm happy and I'm blessed because he's given me all of this. Happy man I am. All right, let's get this working because the Lord says, Mr. Bird, come on, you got things to do. And we do got things to do. I want to be in the back there so bad on the 700-inch screen. That mosquito factory is a nightmare out there. So I might just buy me one of the mesh shoes or something like that. I haven't decided yet. All right, let's get this trend up because I'm going to start me on Wednesday. Walking the dog early in the morning. Tonto, can I walk you with a leash? Will you let me walk you with a leash? You're probably biting me every time. Like, oh, you don't bite me with a leash. You don't bite you. Oops. Shit back on the belt, people. We do not want to be showing painters crack, do we? No, we won't. Sorry if I'm tearing up a little bit. But, hey, I love my Lord. And if Satan can laugh at that and joke about that, I don't care. Don't bother me. Because I love my Lord. I don't care. I don't care about anything. I don't care about my Lord. I remember, you have to be, as Christian men, you have to be careful about women. You have to be real careful about women. Oh, you have to be careful. Not saying that all women are bad, because they're not all bad. They're not. Same thing with women. With men, they have to be careful also too. Because Satan can send them out of your way. They can be very alluring and very beautiful and whatever. And say all the right things and basically get you away from your faith. That's why you're not supposed to be with somebody that's unevenly yoked. You have two oxen, one's bigger and one's smaller. They're not all both going to be able to pull and synchronize at the same time. It's going to be off balance. So you don't want to be unequally yoked. You want to be a perfect match. So that way you can both pull and plow together. Or that sounds kind of bad, but you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, and you can both work as a unit to get the job done even faster. Which that sounds kind of jacked up in the way you put it. It really does. Get your dirty minds out of the gutter. Anyway, but as I said, you have to be with someone who's a Christian just like you. Under Christian law, and some people don't want to hear this, but it's true. I ruffle feathers in my family. Jesus said in the Bible that it's going to be father against son and mother against daughter. And some people think, what does that mean? Well, pretty much, there are going to be things that you're going to believe in, and there are going to be things that some Christians will not want to believe in. And this will cause a conflict. Now, one of the things that I believe in, and people argue with me on this, but it says it in the Bible. It says in the Bible when Christ came down, Christ was murdered out of basically, he was sacrificed. He was a sacrifice anyway, but they wanted him murdered because at the end of the day, they couldn't do the things that they wanted to do. We'll get back to talking about it. I'm going to tell you, the Pharisees couldn't do the things they wanted to do. They were doing all kinds of stuff. They were selling sacrificial lambs and all kinds of stuff. And the house of the Lord, they were doing business. They were saying, hey, look, if you want this forgiveness from the Lord, bold as they were, trust me, very bold. If you want this particular forgiveness for what you have done, you buy this special lamb from us, and you're guaranteed, but you said they do it too now, you're guaranteed to get forgiveness from the Lord. It's a very special lamb right here. Special one just for you. And that's what they were doing. They were making money off the religion. And that's what Jesus went in the house. And he beat those people, said, my house is not, it should not be filled with a house of thieves. It was something, the house should not, I don't know offhand what he was saying, but what he was saying was that the Lord's house is not for a den of thieves, for people to sell, make money, and profit off the Lord. So that's what they were doing. Because in the Old Testament, if you wanted to be forgiven, you bought this lamb without blemish. You went to where the altar was, and if the smoke went up, I think it was white, you were forgetting it was black, it wasn't. So that's how it was. And people were selling these sacrificial lambs, and they were jealous of Jesus because Jesus came down and spoke the truth. He spoke the real truth, and they didn't like this, and they were jealous because of this. And they're also jealous by his infinity. Knowledge was unbelievable because they're like, how in the world does he know all this stuff? What school did he go to? What doctrine does he have that he knows all this stuff? How is this even possible? So they challenged him. They tried everything they possibly could to make him seem like something that he wasn't. And Jesus, every single time, proved them wrong. And they didn't like this. So we can't have him looking like a hypocrite at the end of the day. We're going to have to kill him. There you go. So that's all that. But he had to die anyway because he was the sacrifice for us so we can go to heaven. So, all this was going to happen. God knew all this was going to happen. It had to happen as part of the prophecy. But Satan had another different story. Well, if I can figure a way for him to die another way and not on the cross, if he never hangs on the cross, I mean, the sacrifice would have been for nothing. So let me go tempt him for the 40 days and 40 nights he's in the wilderness and see if I can get rid of him even faster. So that way this never happens and I can continue to take man to hell. Now, when I talk about how you're going to have father against mother and mother against father, how it is because, and what I believe in is I believe that once you're married, you do not marry again. It says to death do you part. When you go into church and you're married unto God, there's a contract. There's two of them. There's one with man, and there's another one with God. Now, some people, it's going to ruffle some feathers. That's what they said. You're going to have that. When you have father against son, he's going to have one opinion. Some things people will accept in the Bible, but you must learn to accept all things in the Bible. Accept it all. Don't accept what you want. You accept all of it. That's the reason why it's put in there. And what I believe is, and it says right there in the Bible, because the Pharisees did try to talk to him, and they were in the crowd, and they were trying to make him look bad by saying, what's your opinion on marriage? Now, if a man looks at another woman and he's married, that's considered to be adultery. You know that. If you marry again, what you're not supposed to do, that is also considered to be adultery. You must wait till the person who you have married has passed on. That's what breaks your contract between you and God. People don't do this. People divorce and get married and divorce and get married and divorce and get married. And you're breaking that contract every single time with God when you do it. And then you go into a church and you want God's blessing to bless you on a sin that you are committing right in front of him. People don't do that. People don't understand that. You cannot, under God's contract, till death do you part, means one of you have to be able to leave the earth in order to break the contract. This is the reason why Mr. Bird is not married yet. Because, again, I want a true Christian woman, and that's what I want. But on top of that, I can't marry someone who's already married. And I've been in a relationship with somebody, and later on they told me, well, I was previously married. I had that in the relationship. I can't marry you. You're already married. I'm not going down that road. Now, me and my mother's a serious Christian woman, but, we've had our arguments here and back and forth, discussions, and there were some parts she didn't really believe in the Bible. But it's right there. It says it. It's right there. It says it right there in the Bible. You cannot marry someone who's already married. You can't do that because technically they are still married under God's law. Under man's law, they're divorced, but under God's law, no, they're still married. Yes, they are. They have to be divorced or have to be a widow. I was blessed because most of the women, well, when I first started off, I did date women that were already divorced, but as I got more and more with the Lord, most of the women I've actually dated were either they never were married or they were widows. No divorce. So that doesn't work. And I've actually told women this, and they've gotten very upset and gotten very angry with me. And these were Christian women, got very upset and very angry. Now, like I said, the reason why you have to be careful. On top of that, it's hard to date people. Sometimes I hope it works out for you. Not with the whole divorce thing, but some people date people with different religions, unequally yoked. So your religions can conflict with their religions at the end of the day. And if you have a child, this will become a problem because a child will know two different religions when they need at that particular time. You want them to only know one. They want them to only know one. And this may confuse the child. For some of us, it's not an easy book to follow. It isn't. It was trash day today. I don't remember. No, it wasn't. That's a recycle. All right. But anyway, it's difficult for some people. I don't get me wrong. Like I said, I'm not saying I have people in my family who have done this and they're Christians. And it's what it is. You know, I've had these discussions with them, and we've had little bits of arguments here and there. That's what's going to happen. That's what they mean by you're going to have, you know, father and son and mother against daughter, because there are things that they're going to see, and there are things that they don't want to see. And that's what's going to happen. Now, say you commit this act and you are a Christian, you do this. Well, you know better. You already know better not to do this, and you've done this anyway. And say you are a person who's not a Christian, and you're living out in the world, and later on you become saved. God's a forgiving God. That's why Jesus died on the cross to forgive man for his sins. Don't mean you go out and do whatever freak you want and get in trouble. Oh, forgive him the next day, we'll do it again. No, that ain't gonna work. That's definitely not gonna work. You're definitely gonna be asking for trouble. But God forgives people for these things. I mean, heck, when I basically, like I said, when I became saved and I started remembering, oh, it's like a flood of all the destruction, stuff I was causing, things I was doing to my family, things I've actually did to other people every day, the stuff I was doing that I didn't think was no problem. Go out the door and do this and getting caught in this and do that and do that. And I think, it's just an everyday in my life. Whatever. Go home, don't realize the pain and problems that I inflicted on other people by being that person at the end of the day. When I became a Christian, all that came flooding in. And I cried for almost every day, just thinking about the weight and all the guilt that was just pushed down on top of me about this evil person that I was, and what the Lord did to sacrifice himself, all that he went through, so I can go to heaven. And then here comes the devil. In my time of my weakest hour, I'm basically going through this remorse process of feeling all this pain because of what I did to other people, what I was, and accepting this person that I used to be, and happy not to be this person anymore. And the devil comes in and says, he's not going to save you. You're better off with me. Look at all this stuff you did. Even though he was in my head, and I had freedom, I had a choice to say no or yes on this. It was my fault too, but I did listen to him more. And he just comes in and goes, don't kill yourself, you know? Nobody's going to want you. Why would God take you? You're filthy, you're dirty, you're this, that, and the other. I was baptized already, but still all my sins are washed away. But the devil was right there saying, just go kill yourself. Because at the end of the day, he's not going to take you. Now, I haven't read the part in the Bible about Saul yet. I haven't been there yet. But that's what the devil was telling me, to kill myself. And it almost came close to that point of me actually killing myself, because I thought that there was no way in the world that God would accept me, because now, even though he has accepted me, he's already accepted me when I was going through the system. He's already accepted me when it might allow me to be free and to be out to serve him. He already accepted me, but the devil came in that fast, clouded my judgment, and said, just go kill yourself, because he don't want you. You're an evil human being. You did a lot of evil stuff. You deserve death at the end of the day. You don't deserve salvation. You don't deserve to be happy. You deserve death. So as I'm reading through the Bible, and as I'm struggling with this nightmare in the back of my head, and I'm praying, and the Lord is there with me, but that devil's pushing in, he's pushing in. I read the story about Saul, about how Saul went out and killed thousands, and I mean thousands of Jews. Went from town to town, his armies, gathering them up. I'm talking about Saul killed everything. And I'm not talking about he had no remorse. Babies, kids, old people, didn't care. To him, they were just basically, he was cleansing the earth of them, getting rid of them. And he was on his way to a town or a city to go pick up these people from there, and God struck him. Sorry, people, I get emotional. So, struck him off his horse, hit the ground, and looked up, and God talked to him. God said, Saul, why do you prosecute me? I mean, he couldn't understand. He was talking to God. So after that day, Saul turned around. I think he became Paul. And became, I'm going to write on that, I'm going to go back and check all that because I'm reading my Bible again. I'm actually reading the Bible again. You read it again, and you know the Bible changes every time you read it, right? You get more and more knowledge out of it. It's actually quite interesting. I'm reading the Bible again. But anyway, he went back and he changed and he became a disciple of the Lord. Yep. So, as I'm reading this, the devil's power starts to shrink. Because now he says, oh, goodness, he got to that chapter. That's not going to be good. I'm not going to get this man to kill himself. I'm not going to be able to get him, my hands on him. Yeah, well, I guess I'll try some other way. Because then I realized when I read that, if God can save this man right here, who was going to doing way, a million times more than destruction that I was causing, and turn him into a disciple at the end of the day? Are you kidding me? He can save me too. And guess what? There you go. That's why you need to read the Bible every day. Gives you strength against the devil. Because I tell you people, I have some Christians at the end of the day will argue with me and say, I don't need to read the Bible, I'm good. Yes, you do need to read the Bible, because guess who knows the Bible better than you do right now? The devil does. The devil knows the Bible better than you. He knows it from back to front, so he can say anything he wants. You can go into a church, and the preacher may not be preaching the right way. He can be preaching to satisfy himself. You need to question that. I always question preachers. And people that sometimes church will get angry, get upset, well, he's a good preacher. No. I'm going to question him. I need to know what he's saying. It's directly in this Bible. Because if it's not in the Bible, I don't believe it. I don't want to hear it. I don't like it when people come up with, don't change the Bible, leave it the way it is. You got people that will write their own books and put other things in there, their own teachings. You're not Jesus at the end of the day. You should not be writing your own books, putting your own teachings and stuff like that. If you rewrote the entire book exactly the way it is and broke it down, so, oh, I forgot, it's called a King James Version. It was already done. Because it was actually in Old English, I think it was. It's very hard. No, it was Hebrew, sorry. And then they broke it down. It was actually King James Version. I think it was in Old English. It was a little hard to translate. They translated it to an English version so people can understand it. But as I said before, some people would take parts out of the Bible and they would make their own little Bibles. You can't do that. At the end of the day, it says in the Bible, you don't take anything from the book. Don't add and don't take anything from it. It's a faster way to take a picnic basket on an inclined hill to the fire. So don't do that. But you see people doing that. Some people go to church to worship the preacher. They don't go to worship God. Oh, minister so-and-so and so, and this so-and-so, and minister this, and minister that, and minister this so-and-so, and minister that. Ministers should be saying at the end of the day, no, you don't give me praise, give it to God. That's what you do. Well, I got some ideas. Okay, so let's talk. We're having fun talking about the Lord. Sorry. I love talking about God. I do. I really do. I do. You know. But I was talking about, you want to make sure, for me, I have to be with somebody who is with the Lord. You know what I mean? Because I remember going out to eat, and I pray over my food. And you'll never know. I work in the food business, trust me. If you know half this stuff that I saw in the food business, whoo, you pray over your food every day. I guarantee you would. Yes, you would. Pray over it every day. But anyway, I went down, we went to the restaurant, I met this nice female. She seemed like she had her head all together and all that good stuff. And she, the food came, and I wanted to pray for my food. And she was embarrassed by it. She was embarrassed by me praying and giving the Lord thanks for the food that we are blessed to have, and that embarrassed me. So I didn't feel the need to be with this person anymore because they really were embarrassed by it. They really didn't like it. It really embarrassed them, So right there, I already decided that that's not going to work. Because I'm not going to be embarrassed by the one who blesses me to have food to eat at the end of the day. You're the sunshine of my life. I love that Stevie Wonder. I was playing some of that downstairs.
Feel my voice is not fit. I won't fit my day job.
My singing is not good. So yeah, ouch. I do this every time. I bet you $100 I got screws in here. Something. I wonder about myself. I really do sometimes. The stuff I find in my pockets is scary. I have no idea what that was. It was like a cookie. That literally was a cookie in my pocket. I was probably eating something while I was working and didn't want to finish it and stuck it in my pocket, and later on it became that. Let me go wash my hands. I'm gonna get some of that EL wire. I'm gonna trace that inside of there. So I think for the radiator, we're gonna put some EL wire in the radiator. I'm gonna line it in there, all up in there, because that'd be easier to put in. And put the red lights in. So we have to get a Molex adapter. Molex adapter. Yeah. Reason why I can do all this is, yeah, they put me on Singapore because I got bad lungs. And then people say, well, how do you do all this? You know, with bad lungs and all. You pray, put it in God's hands. And the doctors will sit there and tell you all kinds of dumb stuff at the end of the day. I swear. You know. Doctors. I mean, they're right sometimes. Yeah, you know. Other times, man, I question them. I'm like, is that a real diploma or a doctorate on your wall? You can get that out of a cereal box. Don't tell them that because they'll get really upset about that, right? Man, some of the stuff they had told me, oh, I didn't even hear. And I'll sit there and go, well, I'll let the Lord decide on that one. But no, Mr. Bird, I think you should take this, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm good. I'll let the Lord decide on it, if that's right for me. So they wanted me on this prednisone and, is it prednisone? It's not prednisone, is it? It is prednisone, it is prednisone. Prednisone makes you gain weight. It does, it makes you gain weight. And if you have a lung issue, weight is not something you want to be accumulating at the end of the day. You don't want that. So, that's something you don't want. To be heavy and have a hard time breathing anyway. So that's what prednisone makes you gain weight quick. It does. So, I had to go on a strict diet and drop my weight and learn to take the prednisone when my body asks for it, and not when the doctors are telling me every single day. And I'm not giving you medical advice, don't do that, that's just me. You know, that's how the Lord works with me. I'm not telling you to do that. Don't do that. You know, still follow one of your doctor's rules and stuff like that, but that's just me, that's how I do it. So I go in there and I talk to my doctors, and they were saying, hey, have you been taking this and how you've been taking that? And I'll sit there and say, well, I take this, and I'll take that, you know, when it's my body asks for it. And they were like, oh, well, that's not how it's done, and you gotta do this, and you gotta do that. And that's what they'll tell me. Mr. Bird, it's not gonna work if you don't take it the same way we described for you to take it. You gotta do it that way, and that's the way you gotta do it. Meanwhile, you don't even know anything about the freaking disease I had to begin with, because I got diagnosed with a very rare lung disease. Psychosis or something weird it's called. But anyway, and you don't know anything about it, so how do you know what's gonna work and what's not gonna work? Because you don't know anything about the disease. The only thing you know about the disease and not reaction, because I have it and I'm giving you information on it. I can't pick up on that dumb nonsense. Yeah. So stuff you're telling me that you want me to do every day, you don't even know what you're talking about. You're just describing what's on the bottle because, you know, that's what the pharmaceutical companies tell you. And you come back because you don't know anything about my lung disease, you don't know how to treat it, you're getting information off me, off the drugs that you're giving me. So how does that make you feel? What kind of reaction? Yeah, you're using me as a guinea pig. So I tell them when I go, I say, look, I'll let the Lord decide on that one right there. And I said, well, Mr. Bird, we need you to take this Symbicort. It's not Symbicort. The Symbicort does work. They put me on prednisone and some other stuff they put me on, like 4 of the pills. We need to take this one interacts with that one, and that one interacts with this one, and this one interacts with that one. It's like a domino effect that never ends. You know, I went and I prayed about it. And the Lord says, this is what you're going to do. You're not going to take 40 milligrams. You're going to take 30 milligrams. You're going to break the pill in half that you're going to take, and you take it when I tell you to take it. And this is for me. I'm not saying this advice for everybody else, but you got to pray on this first. I'm not saying this is just me. I don't want to lead people on the wrong road and have people doing something getting hurt. But as I said before, this is what the Lord told me. You'll take the Symbicort when your body needs it. So this is what I told them when I went in. Well, that's not going to work because it has to work a certain way. And blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? Last year, let's see, couldn't cut my grass. I basically wouldn't be doing this right now. This would be virtually impossible because I couldn't barely breathe. I couldn't go back to exercise and working out. Then on my bag, I had 2 bags downstairs. I couldn't hang any of them up. Then I'm not doing any of that. No. I can barely breathe. Let's see. Couldn't take the trash out. I couldn't barely clean my house. It was a whole lot of stuff went too because my breathing was really, really bad. Now, since I've been following the Lord's instructions, well, Mr. Bird can paint this room, do paint downstairs, do videos, and whatever I like, cut my grass in the front. I got my chin-up bar, I got my weights, I can lift weights and do all that stuff I like to do. Breathing is fantastic. It is. The Lord allowed me to be able to maintain. And when I went back in the doctor, Mr. Bird, your lungs have improved. I don't see a lot of the white scarring that you had in your lungs. A lot of it's clearing up. Maybe because God had something to do with all of that, right? Yeah. There we go. And that cut down on my anxieties, which were at the time was freaking out because I was afraid to be near people because it would give me the disease and I would die and this, that, and the other, so on and so forth. And now I can actually, I wear my mask, but I can still at least get next to people, take packages out of their hands without freaking out and washing my hands and washing the whole house down and bleaching everything and have the house smell like a hospital 24/7. So that killed a lot of anxieties right there from the door. And again, a lot of prayer with the Lord. Praying with the Lord. You know? So that cuts out a lot of that. That's like, you know, always had that, even at the time when I wasn't serving the Lord. Sorry about that. Got something caught in my throat. I always had that will that, and I got that from my father and mother, that will that if I wanted it, I was going to get it done no matter what. Get it done. That's why I grew up. And I remember I had, you see Mr. Bird without a hat on, I see scars on my forehead. I got my scars on my forehead was, I had this weird feeling. I don't know where it came from. I just had this weird feeling I was going to get hit by a car. I don't know why. I was talking to my family members, said, look, I got this strange feeling I'm going to get hit by a car. And they was like, nah, it's all in your head. It's not going to happen. And you're not going to get hit by a car. And I said, no, I've got this real eerie feeling that I'm going to get hit by a car. And it was just for some strange reason. I just had this weird feeling. So as I'm, every time I would cross the street, the light would automatically just turn like what's it, green or red? I'm sorry, I get that kind of mix up right there where green is go. The minute it'd be red, and the minute I would go put my foot over, boom, it just turned right there, and car almost get hit by a car. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is definitely going to happen because there's just too many close calls. I almost got hit by a car. So I figured, you know what? If I'm going to do this, what's going to happen? I'm going to take it head on. So I went to my electronics shop. I bought a Walkman. Yes, Walkman. I said Walkman with the tape player inside of it and radio. Yeah. I went and bought myself a Walkman. I bought myself these big heavy headsets, and I called it my portable party. If I'm going to get hit by a car, at least I'll be listening to some good music when it happened. And that was my attitude because I wasn't going to be afraid of it. I was going to take it head on no matter what, whatever the outcome was going to be. And it happened. It happened. I went to go see my brother one day. He worked over at Hanneman Hospital. And I was just talking to him a few minutes ago. And I remember walking across the street, and I always cut through that same street every single time. And I used to crack this joke. They said, how do you know when you get hit by a car? I said, when the music stops. And sure enough, that day the music stopped. I got hit by a car. I went right through the windshield and came out the windshield, rolled over the top of the car, and boom, hit the ground. Now, at the time, I thought I got hit in the head with a baseball bat. That's what it felt like. And someone struck me in the head with a bat because my eyes blacked out a little bit, and then everything came out was blurry. So I thought I got hit in the head with a bat because in the area I was at was kind of a little bit violent in there, and I was wearing some real nice stuff. I was wearing my Giorgio Bettini boots. I paid $100 for these boots. So I thought it was in my punk rock years, the Giorgio Bettini boots and a lot of silver chains and all that stuff, and metal, heavy metal music. That's what I was into. A lot of not more like, Nirvana's more like grunge. I was more like into Prodigy, Dan, to the fire starter and all that stuff like that. I was into that technical rave music. I was into that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's when I thought I got hit with the bat. Now I had my backpack on, and my backpack was an army when I hit the ground, so it ripped off me when I hit the ground. I had my portable party system in there. No, it wasn't a cassette player. It was a CD player. It was a CD player. It was a Sony, the Sony with the yellow, and it had the earbuds that you would plug in, but I didn't want those. That's almost got deaf in one ear. That's a long story for another day. But anyway, yeah, so I had my Walkman in there, and the bag, my bag was an army. So as I got up, my kneecap was broken in 4 places. I didn't know this because I was in shock. So as I got up, I limped across the street, and I sat in this corner store. And when I was walking, I could see the blood coming down my face. Well, I didn't see it in my face. I saw it dripping. I saw my shirt in the front was red, and I saw blood wherever I walked. There was blood dripping at. Sorry if you're a little nauseous, but that's what happened. So as I sat down, I was conscious. I kept saying the same thing over again. I kept saying my social security number, which is dangerous, but no one took my identity, thank God. And I kept saying my name. My name is Kenneth Bird. I live so and so and so. My name is Kenneth Bird, so and so and so. Social security number, so and so and so. Because in my mind, I didn't want to go into shock and die. But I was already in shock because I got up and walked across the street with a broken leg. And when I sat there, I remember when a woman brought her daughter in, she covered her daughter's eyes. And I said, it must be bad. So then, ambulance came and picked me up. And I was cracking jokes the entire time, because that's usually what I do when I'm going through a real bad trauma. I crack jokes. I keep myself in good spirits because I don't want to go into shock. I don't want to die. I don't want to go into cardiac arrest or whatever's going to happen to me. So I keep cracking jokes. And I had brand new Giorgio Bettini boots, $100, $130 boots. I had purple. Mine were purple. And I'll never forget, the woman pulled out the scissors like, please, don't cut my boots. Just bury me with my boots on. And she cut them boots. I was like, oh, I just had to look at the boots 2 days ago. I just got those boots. And she cut them. And then I remember going back into the hospital, just talking to my brother. He took me over to Hanneman where he was at. And I just told him, I wasn't going to tell him I was going to get hit by a car. And he said, that was craziness. And I literally get hit by a car. And I never forget, I had all these fragments of glass embedded in my face. And I was just cursing. I was screaming curse words, and I was cursing everybody out because they were sticking and pulling glass, shards of glass out of my face. It was in my eyes. It was everywhere. It was shards of glass all bit in my face. To this day, I still have pieces of glass in my face right now. And every once in a while, in the summertime, the heat kicks up. I'll get a little shaving. I'll prick something, and a piece of glass will come out. So it's in there. But on the side of my head, I had a 3-inch gash, and my skull bone was exposed, and kneecap was shattered, and I was sitting in there, and when I was sitting up and laid up in the bed and medication, I was literally like a Frankenstein. I had stitches all in my face everywhere, and the leg was all in a brace and everything. And my mother came in, she was crying, and family came in. I was still alive. Well, I survived it. It was crazy because I knew I was going to. It was nothing I could do. There was like no way around it. And my family was like, "Oh my God, you were just talking about this." There was no way around it. It was going to happen. It was going to happen. So if it was going to happen, I'm going to go out. That's when I'm going to go out. But I survived it. And I lost about 20% of my memory in the process. I pretty much started getting things back. My eyes were real sensitive to light. I had to wear sunglasses. Even in nighttime, I had to wear sunglasses. My eyes were sensitive to light. I had headaches, migraines, the part I didn't like the most is when I had no feeling on one side of my face and my head would itch. And I figured out if I rubbed my eyebrow, for some reason, there was a nerve in there that would soothe the top of my head. And then just having your face scarred up pretty bad like that on top of that. And yeah, the guy got sued. I got a lot of money out of it. This guy was a businessman. He wasn't even from Philadelphia. And at that, when they pulled him out of his car, because he tried to take off, and between that area, traffic is a little jammed up. And this guy tried to pull off, and these guys gripped him up, pulled him out of the car, and they held him down till the cops got there. He had a prostitute in the car, and there was drugs found in the car, and he paid up pretty well. What did I do with the money? I blew it all of it. I blew it, gone. But anyway, yeah, after that, I had to go to rehabilitation and learn how to walk and move my leg. And as I'm sitting there talking to the doctor, saying, well, Mr. Bird, you're not going to need to feel inside of your face for a while, and that may be kind of weird. You take a shower, you don't feel the water on that side, and you're going to bit by bit, you may get some of that memory back. And it wasn't a real major memory. It was some stuff that did go missing. And then he said, and as for your leg, you're going to be walking with a cane for the rest of your life. Now, mind you, I play hockey, roller hockey. I skate, all that stuff, downhill mountain biking. I like to run, all that stuff. And you're telling me I'm going to be on a cane for the rest of my life? In the back of the mind, I'm looking at this man like, that ain't going to happen. I'm not going to be on a cane for the rest of my life. I'm going to walk, I'm going to run, I'm going to jump, and do all the stuff I want to do. Forget you. Now, I say it to him like that because at the time that's what I'm thinking in my head, but it's not going to happen. So it was difficult. Now, interesting, the woman I ended up dating was a physical therapist, which was pretty crazy. And she's the one, with the Lord, helped me to get my leg back to where it is. And I never forget, many years later, still numb on the side of my face because I didn't kick it yet to get my nerves back until like 15 years later. That was weird. But anyway, I never forget, I was with a group of my friends. I had all the mission gear. I used to love wearing mission because mission, when you come out, you feel like a Gundam. That's how you felt. You had the freaking mission blades on. You had the mission hockey gloves. I was goalie. But anyway, sometimes I was goalie, sometimes we had to draw straws because it was hot. But anyway, so I had to hold the gloves on mission, the jersey mission, everything was mission, with the fat white laces. Oh man, I love freaking hockey. But anyway, so I'm skating with a group of my friends, and I see the doctor who made that prediction many years back. Mind you, wasn't a Christian, so sorry about the curse word, I'm not going to say it. So anyway, as we're skating over the top near Temple, because we're blowing through there real quick, we're going to stop over by JFK, get some ices, get some to drink, then drop down to the art museum, hit the top, talk to some ladies, and then after that, hit downtown, get the rat's nest and hockey. So as we're going through, I see him and go, ah! That's the doctor right there. That's the one that told me I was never going to walk again. I was going to be on the cane for the rest of my life. And as you get up, I'm like, yeah. He turns around and says, remember me? Remember me? The guy with the crutch went through windshield, all that, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, oh, how you doing? I said, look at this, blank you. And then the rest of my rowdy troop, which are crazy just like me, started screaming the same words back at him. That joker told me there was no way in the world I was ever going to be able to use this leg properly ever again. Yeah, right. Got into martial arts, got into freaking downhill mountain biking, got into everything. I kept running and everything else. I could try a little power walking. Not good at that at all. I just wasn't my thing. I just tried. I did power walking because of a female. That's the reason why. She walked by and I was like, I got to get into that sport. But anyway, yeah. I respect it. I just got into it with the female. We all done stuff we live in. But anyway, yeah. That is fun. Yeah. I was in the aggressive skating first, before I got into hockey. And I got into aggressive skating, and somebody said, I love freaking going to cheap skates. We do the verts, we do bows and half pipes and all that stuff. We were grinding on the rails and all that stuff. And I said, man, I want to do this forever. And the guy was like, you can't do it forever because sooner or later common sense is going to kick in and it's going to ruin it for you. So at the time, you're fearless. You have no common sense whatsoever. You fear nothing. But common sense will come in sooner or later. And when common sense kicks in, then you may have to give it up because then you could get yourself killed. And common sense kicked in at New York City at a 4-story parking lot. And then I decided to jump and try to nail the rail, and I almost went over the side and almost dropped 4 stories down and hit a bunch of cars. Now, before I did the jump, something in the back of my mind was like, hey, you might want to make that jump because this is what's going to happen to you, and blah, 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 blah. Usually I never hear that voice. I just jump and I'm good. But that voice popped in there a couple of times, and yeah, I listened to the voice, almost got myself murdered. So I'm used to doing that aggressive sport as like, doing the extreme aggressive skating. So I'm out there one day and I see somebody out there playing roller hockey, a group of guys playing roller hockey, and they're bumping and slamming into each other. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna try that because I can play hockey, I can rollerblade and all that other good stuff. And I can learn the hockey stuff. Guys can teach me, and I want to have a conversation with me. And I'm talking about the different skates and stuff like that. Other guy had CCM, so the other guy came up, he had missions, and I liked those. I was like, oh, what are those? Those are missions. I was like, I like those. So that's what I did. I went down to the skate store, cheap skates, picked up my mission gear, got the gloves, everything, and then I had to learn how to use the hockey stick. I went to the schoolyard and practice. One day, Mr. Bird would take you out to the schoolyard and show me Mr. Bird's skills in hockey. But anyway, and then I had my own hockey group. I was hanging out with some of the aggressive skaters, did hockey on the side. Some of the aggressive skateboarders I used to hang out with, and I had skateboard friends we used to hang out with, pretty cool. Those are the ones that got me, and to try to get me into surfing, that was not going to happen. K2 snowboarding, not good at that either. You travel down a hill at 100 miles an hour on a popsicle stick, you guys got that one. But anyway, yeah, that's how I got into the rest of that stuff. Because they had this whole thing about how skateboarders, at that particular time, it was like skateboarders and rollerbladers don't hang out. That was the dumbest thing I ever heard in my entire life. So what, the BMXers don't hang out with the freaking rollerbladers? The rollerbladers don't hang out with the freaking skateboarders? Man, we had skateboarders that were hanging out with us. We hung out with people who did BMX. We hung out with everybody. We didn't care what you did at the end of the day. It was fun. And when we go to the park, we had people in there that had bikes in there, which shouldn't have been in there, but we had people in there with bikes. We had people in there that were skateboarding. We had people in there who were rollerblading. Well, at the end of the day, we're all doing the same thing. We're just having fun and blowing off steam. What the freak, we want to basically bring that freaking nonsense into our circle at the end of the day. I seen two guys about to get into a fight. I said, you kidding me? So let me get this straight. We got enough stress in life, and we're going to bring this stress here till we actually get a chance to work out and have fun with each other, man. At the end of the day, we're all on wheels, man. Just share the spot and let's have fun. That's what it comes down to, having fun. Freaking gaming awards. Yeah. But everybody just having fun, man. That's all it's about. Who knows? You might try skateboarding, you might like it. Find out something new. They might like rollerblading. They might like it. You never know. Everybody try something different, see what you like. Meet new friends, meet new people. Why are you going to hate somebody because they do something different? That doesn't make any sense. In all period, you're missing out on good opportunities to learn something new. Why sit there and fight it? So, people learn from each other. Hanging out with a lot of them skateboarders. I learned some cool stuff from hanging around with these guys. We don't hang out with them because who cares? What's the reason why? What's the difference? What's the reason why? I laughed one time. My friend was like, so let me get this straight. You don't hang out with them because they're on a skateboard? And you don't hang out with them because they're on rollerblades? Or rollerblades were really big at the time. We're all on wheels. Guess what? We all get hit by cars the same way. All of us. No one gets hit by a car any different. We all get hit by cars the same way. At the end of the day, we're all the same people. We're just out here, young, having some fun, blowing off steam, having some fun. That's what we're doing in the day. Why bring that everyday stress that we have to go through? There's the reason why we come here and we skate to blow off stress and the headaches and stuff we got to go through every day. Why bring that nonsense here? That separation, negative nonsense. Everybody learn to get along with everybody. And who knows? A person who's a skateboarder might get into quads, might get into rollerblading, and a person who's a rollerblader into quads might get into skateboarding. Learn something new. Learn a new love that you may like. Meet a new friend. Don't block yourself from basically learning new stuff. Learn something new. I'm always interested when I meet people that My customers, I love about this business the most is I get to meet people and I always ask them what they do for a living. It can be something that I don't care. Whatever they're doing in life, it's not something that I'm doing and I want to know about it. It could be something simple at the end of the day and I still want to know about it. Always curious with somebody else. That's what I love about quantum leap. We jump from area to area. But I think that's whatever people do in life. I think it's pretty cool. Whatever it may be. I used to, one point I used to dig graves. Oh yes, Mr. Bird has done that one. I have dug graves. I've done that one. Ooh man, that's a creepy job. It is. It's a creepy job. I swear. But man, I've done that one. It pays good money. Usually the jobs that nobody wants to do are the jobs that pay the money, the serious money. And nobody wants to be in the graveyard at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning digging graves, especially being around dead people. But again, when you're a Christian, and when I was raised, I wasn't serious at the time, but I still was a Christian at the end of the day. I knew things, you understand that whatever's in the graveyard is no longer there. It's with God. So your soul goes back to heaven and the body goes back to the primal dust. Whatever you see out there is something else. At the end of the day, that's where that's what will really wake up your senses at the end of the day. Because some people are saying, "Oh, it's just a ghost." No, you don't see ghosts. You see fallen demons. That's what they are. Either angels or demons. It's one of the two. That's what you want to see. If it's freaky looking and you got to run from it, that's a demon. If it's something that comes down in the heavenly light, because angels let themselves, they're going to let themselves be known, they come down and show all their beauty and their glory. It's an angel. But if you see something else running around there, and it is what you think it is, it's definitely a demon. Definitely you got a Diablo running around in your freaking graveyard. But yeah. Hearing things, hearing people talk to you, you do know that I don't want to freak people out. This is true. The demons know who you are. You know that? Angels know who you are. At the end of the day, they know who you are. They know when you're born and all that. They know everything about you. Well, so does the devil. The devil knows everything about you. And he knows your name. He knows you. Some of them will even call out your name. Like a whisper. So like I said, I've had it happen to me twice. Oh, it's freaky. It's scary as I don't know what. But you got to pray. Don't lose concentration. Pray. And put it in God's hands, and he will leave, or it will leave, or whatever they are will leave. Because remind you, he fell when he was cast out of heaven. He brought other angels with him, so there is more than one. It's not just him. Yep. And some people want to play with them. They want to put the word 666, and they think that's going to intimidate a Christian. No, it's not going to intimidate a Christian. We're not afraid of Satan. At the end of the day, we're not afraid of him. We serve God. What you are doing is you're basically opening up an invite for something to come see you. That's what you're doing. You're opening up a way. Because imagine this. This is how people do the Ouija board. Why? Like seriously asking for it. That's almost the equivalent of wearing a bear costume in hunting season. That's literally what you're doing is you're asking for it on so many levels it's not even funny. So just let's put it in a way you can understand. All right, so say all the demons, not in hell, they're in their whatever area, they're not in heaven, but I'm just saying they're in their purgatory area where they're at, right? And they're all sitting around in this purgatory area, and all of a sudden this portal opens up where they're at, and they go, that's a portal. And they all jump into this portal. And as they're traveling through this portal, they're traveling through all these different towns and cities, and they come upon this portal that lands into this house, and they all drop in one by one. And in that house, there's a group of people playing with a Ouija board. That's what you do. You open up for things to come see you at night or in the morning or whatever. And when they land in there, they are basically like vicious dogs. And they will destroy, murder, kill, whatever they got to do and possess in order to capture this, either do some evil, heinous things to one another or whatever they got to do. It's called demon possession. That's what you're invited into your house when you mess around with those little things. When you do seances, you call things into your house. If someone's doing a seance and something pops into her body, guess what? That's not an angel at the end of the day, and that's not the person who you think is talking to them. That's something else talking to them. Because again, and I can't explain this enough, your body does not belong to you. Your soul is not yours. You belong to God. So when you die, you go back to the one who basically gave it to you, and your body goes back to the dust, which means whatever popped into her body is not of your own, not your, you're not talking to your loved one. Your loved one is wherever God has put them at. And wherever you're talking to is a demon. That's what you're speaking to. Direct line with the devil speaking to you. To tell you whatever trickery he needs to tell you to lead you down, whatever road, to use the person that they're using to as a form of a vessel to get souls. That's why all that palm reading and all that stuff, and for people who do that stuff, if you're offended by what I'm saying, I am not sorry for what I'm saying. You know it's wrong. Because you're inviting things in, and you know very little about what is actually moving about the earth. And when people sit there and say, oh, my time's not borrowed, well, here's the thing. I will give you everything I have if you can show me one funeral line with a U-Haul truck in it, where someone is literally taking everything they have with them. Show me one. Oh, you can't show me one because you can't take it with you, right? Then if you can't take it with you, then it was never yours to begin with, which means it was all borrowed. Christ did it. So if you can't die and go, okay, hold on to my stuff, I'll be back tomorrow. And you come back tomorrow and you go, all right, that was a rude awakening. Okay, I'm up and everything. They didn't put the coffin. They wouldn't even make coffins to seal tight. What's the point? You're coming back anyway. And, they'll bury you and, you'll pull out your keys and go, To make coffins will be huge, like little houses, because you'll be waking up anyway. There's no point in burying you anyway. And you just get up and go, whew, that's interesting. Come outside and go back and reclaim your life as it was. But it doesn't work out that way. When you die, you don't come back. So that's the end of that. So you go back to, which means you're on borrowed time. Your soul does not belong to you, it belongs to God. So when God says, okay, it's time for you to come back, let's go. And whatever way you're going to go is how you're going to go, that's when God takes back what belongs to him and you don't go back. So all your stuff, gets divided up. Everything you have, some people think that sounds grim. I couldn't care less about this stuff because what am I need that in heaven? Heaven's for better than the earth, so what would I need that for? I don't care about this stuff. So all your stuff gets divided up and got a will. All your stuff is all separated among all your friends and family and stuff like that who you gave it to. And that's it. You can't take it with you. It's not yours. So you're on borrowed time. And that's why it talks about, my favorite part in the scripture is toil under the sun. Man works by the sweat of his brow just to give to another. Instead of you worried about your treasures in heaven, people are more worried about their treasures on the earth. And everything you work for on the earth will go to someone else because you work by the sweat of your brow to give to another. That's what it stands for. When I learned that, I was like, So I look around all the stuff that I have and I own. I'm like, yeah, Hayden is right. Because when I die, everything I work for is going to somebody else. You can enjoy it while you're on the earth, but other than that, it's going, somebody else is going to take it. And then when you go to heaven, or you go to meet God, let's meet God first, and he says, hey, you were on my borrowed time. What did you do with my time while you was here on the earth? And you go, man, I partied and drank and had fun and slept with women and did this and did that and so on and so and so. Did you talk about me? Did you serve me in any way? Or I just didn't have the time. I was too busy working, making money, trying to live a good life. Well, I never knew you. And yeah, that's a horrible thing to hear. God doesn't know you. You're going to heaven. Yeah! You want to make sure. Boy. All right. after 2 coats. Here is a good cover up if I had the other paint combined. But by itself, yeah, I can see why people on Amazon didn't like it. Because man, it doesn't cover too well. So, what we're going to do is, we got it the best way we can, because it's not good. It is, it's like, I mean, we had the other painting here, and it already was covering up everything, which it did quite well, right? But once we put this on, it covered up the blotches of the other paint, gave me a nice smooth coat. Now this is how this stuff dries. See, like inside of that closet, hey, that's 2 coats, and it should look that way. So what we're going to have to do is I'm not buying that stuff from, whatchamacallit again. Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm watching you. What are you, see that joker that fast? Go into your room. Thank you. All right, so, because I don't need to have my cat covered in white paint. So what we're going to do is, we're going to get, how many gallon anyway? I'm going to get some 1050. 1050 will knock this out, because it will cover this up easily, no problem. So we can paint the floor anyway. We'll just put some plastic down. And it's white anyway, but I don't want drops on my floor. So we're going to let this dry, come back in, knock out the floor. While I'm knocking out the floor, I got to come back outside. We got to paint the other screen because I'm going to see how dark we got it. And if we're still maintaining our white levels still on top of that. Daisy, Daisy, how do your flowers bloom? Do 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 do. But that's what we're going to do. Because everything else in here is good. It's the doorways that I would like to see a little better, honestly. But I'm going to come in here with some Bear 1050. Or just order 1 coat off of Amazon and just come back in here and just redo this again to get it whiter. And I don't want to be doing 2 coats in that closet. That closet's hot. So I'd rather be in here with 1 coat, knock it out, and be done instead of being in the closet in sweat box. Like Cool Hand Luke. If you haven't seen that movie, you have missed out on so much. But I do want to make sure we get these edges here at the bottom a little better. Taco, I'm looking at your curiosity, and no. Not coming in here. Yeah, that's not going to happen, Chief. Now go. You have posable thumbs. Do you have posable thumbs? Do you have them? If you have them, you can help me, but you don't have posable thumbs. I'm not blocking you because you have posable thumbs. You don't even know. And I'm not going to basically taunt you with all kinds of crazy gestures. Look at your feet. They're so cute. They're so cute. I'm going to get you some socks that look like human hands and freak people out. There we go. You just want to sit down and talk with me? That's what it is? That's what it is. All right, I apologize for chasing you away, but I don't even get that curiosity. I don't want you to basically be coming in the room and getting in any trouble. Here's right there. I noticed when I got Taco, I was afraid that I would paint a screen, he would walk across it and track that all through the house. But no, he doesn't. He knows his boundaries. He'll sit right there and chill, and we'll talk, and we'll work and paint on things together, and he just basically sits there and relaxes. Ain't that right, Taco? You good? I haven't bought you anything nice in a while. I think I'm gonna get you a new toy. You like those tunnels you like to run through. We'll get you some of those. He loves those tunnels. I like to run through those tunnels. But I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come in, touch this up. I'm gonna get one of those mini rollers too, which makes my job a little bit more easier. And then I'm going to finish up there. We're done. I'm going to come in and start getting ready to put the LED lights in once this all dries up. And then we finish from there. There, Mr. Taco's going to sit there and chill. Mr. Taco! Taco Bell! Taco Bell. Are you the Taco Bell? Are you the Taco Bell? If you was a cheetah, you'd be like, it ain't easy. All right. think I'm happy with this. I'm good with this. Yeah, I myself have got to learn to, I brag sometimes, and I gotta cut down on that bragging nonsense and quick fuse. Now, I'm pretty patient with people who try to taught me online, because that's online, because honestly at the end of the day I'll never see you. But people in person, that's something I have to learn to get under control. I mean, not saying it's like rampant or anything, but yeah. But anyway, things I'm working out with the Lord and myself on how to just be a little bit more patient for people. This neighborhood is interesting, and I'll tell you why. Because in my other neighborhood, if you had a problem with somebody, they would address you on it. They're definitely going to address you on it. And you can talk it out man to man, become enemies or friends one way or another, but I'd rather prefer us be friends, go and get something to eat and work it out. But over here, the neighbors are talking, which I don't care. At the end of the day, I really don't, it doesn't bother me. But if they have a problem with you, they'll go before the township and they'll file complaints against you and never come talk to you. I had that incident one time down here. We never had it again. Because I know who did it. And I've had to talk with both of them, explain to them that next time that no smile on your face. Those people, they'll smile all up in your face. Maybe invite you to a few barbecues or something like that so they can get an understanding of who you are. They'll go to another barbecues and all that stuff without know their intentions. But they'll smile. There are a lot of backstabbers out here. But they're the kind of people who have nice cars, have nice houses, but they'll smile up in your face, but they'll try to report you and do things against you. So I had this one guy over here, he did come over one time and cut the grass because my lungs were messed up. And, you know, he came back to get his tools. Now, the reason why he was there cutting the grass because a complaint was filed against me about my grass being too high. And I couldn't cut the grass because at the time I was sick, my lungs were acting up, and they seen the emergency vehicles coming to the house before things got better. But they felt the need to do something dumb. So anyway, as he was coming to the house, he forgot something in the back. He went to go pick it up. Now, I saw him on a security camera walking through the drive. I was like, who the freak is that? I'm coming outside to address the matter. And he says, oh, I'm just coming to get my so-and-so. So I said, let me explain something to you, how things work for me. Number one, don't walk past that threshold, all right? I don't know who you are at the end of the day, and things might end up in a different way, if you know what I mean. Because you don't go walk up on someone's property like that. I don't care at the end of the day. That's what they're used to over there. I'm not used to this. I'm not from here. I don't live here. I'm just passing through. I would appreciate it. If there's something on there that you left behind, just go knock on the door. I got security cameras, all that. I don't go think I can walk where I want to go. Don't do that at the end of the day. He understood that. Okay, fine. Now we established those grounds right there. And before you leave, let me tell you something. Next time you have a problem with what's going on over here, you come and address me like a man. Don't ever go to some township. Don't have me have anybody come to my door for anything. Because if anybody comes to my door for anything, and this is where I lost my temper, I come to see you. Anything comes up. It could be that person down the street. It could have nothing to do with you. I come see you. Now, I could have handled that a little better. But he got the point, and I guess he's the chatterbox of the neighborhood, so he made sure everybody knew that such and so and so. And I explained to my situation. I was very sick last year. The medicine they give me takes about a year to coat my lungs, and I would have cut my grass. I love cutting grass. It's therapeutic for me. I go out there to get my trimmer. I put my Frank Sinatra on and cut everything up. I love it. I even watch videos on people who cut grass, so I love it. But I couldn't do it because I was very sick. And that's what I explained to him. Now, this year, my grass is cut all the time. I go out there and cut, get my trimmers, trim everything down, sweep everything down. Yeah, you know, I was sick. But if you came across and you had asked me, I said, yeah, I was very sick. And I would have paid you some money to help me cut my grass down so I can keep it nice for the neighborhood. And the bushes that you're seeing growing all the way up on my end It's not from my end, it's from the golf course. It makes it look like it's on mine because we're that close to the gate. Literally, as you can see those? I don't know if you can see that or not, but yeah, you can see, I'll take the camera off real quick. You can see these trees growing up. This is golf course. This is not me. See them? See that crap? That's not me. That's literally the golf course on their side. And that crap is going out of control. Which I kind of like it in a way because it's privacy. I don't get to see them too much. So that's good. But yeah, that's from them over there. And their freaking brush fire waiting to happen. But anyway, that's them. So you need to contact them and complain to them. So when they came out and they cut everything down, they saw where, he said, yeah, I saw that. I saw where the trees are going up on their side. Yeah, but yet you went and filed that complaint. Well, I didn't file anything. Yeah, I know you did. I know you did. I know you did. Now, the only person that I actually talked to in the neighborhood, when I move in the neighborhood, I know everybody down here, but I only associate with one person in every neighborhood. And that's a little old woman across the street who has the American flag. She has 2 sons in the Army. Me and her talk. She comes in from time to time. She is so down to earth, so real. It's not even funny. I love her so much. Her husband has passed away, and every Valentine's Day, I send flowers to her house, stuff like that. You know what I mean? You know, stuff like that. She didn't have an air conditioner. Got an air conditioner for her window, stuff like that. She's a real sweetheart. So she tells me about everybody in the neighborhood. So that's how I know everybody in the neighborhood. Usually, when I move to the neighborhood, I go to the oldest person there because they know everybody in the neighborhood. But anyway, she's a real sweetheart. So anyway, that was the end of that. Mr. Bird doesn't have that problem. As for my next door neighbor, we don't have that problem anyway at all either. That has also been completely squashed. When I'm outside, they don't come outside. Now, I don't want it that way, but that's the way they think it. This is how people react in the neighborhood. I just had a little talk with him and explained to him, nothing threatened like that, just explained to him at the end of the day what I don't like. And I'm pretty sure I'm trying to be respectful here because you have been here longer than I have, which you have more seniority. You've been like 35 years in this neighborhood, and I have to respect that. But still, I have to live here also. So I just made a few things clear, and that's the end of it. I don't have that problem anymore. I go outside, I work, and I don't ever see them when I go outside. No, I did not threaten them in the matter that if I see you, there's going to be complications. I didn't say anything like that. I just made it known that bottom line is, we have to share this spot together now. Now, if you're going to do your thing, I don't care at the end of the day. If I'm not out there, knock yourself out. I don't even use my backyard that much because I don't like the mosquito factory. And when I'm on the deck, I really don't like to use it that much because it'll pop, pop, pop. I got the mosquitoes popping. I got to smell the burnt mosquito. I hate that. So I kind of use my stuff, my backyard, when it gets near September, when, the weather's cool, there are many bugs out. That's when I like to be out there. They're not out around that time because kids in school and programs they're involved in, and they're never outside. So that's how it works out for both of us. But in summertime, you rarely see me in my backyard because I don't like to deal with the heat. The only time I go out there with the bugs and all is when I'm cutting my grass and that's sitting in the back in the house, and mainly most of the time in the house all the time. So they noticed that. On top of that, I got 4 systems in the house, and they are really crazy loud, which I didn't realize how loud they were until one day when we were talking, we had a conversation. He said, I literally heard your system in my basement in a Skype call, and they thought it was coming from my house. Didn't know the system was that loud. Now, usually when you're sitting in a room with a loud system, you don't really hear it, think it's that loud, till you get outside and you go, good gracious, and you know how loud it is. So yeah, but the thing about it, you can honestly say I don't play it 24/7. I'll do a couple of videos, cut it off, go upstairs, throw my headsets on, jump on VR. I really don't have my system on and all that at all, period, because I don't like the loud noise myself. So I'm mostly on headsets. So anybody in the neighborhood can vouch and say that, yeah, when it comes on, you will hear it, but it doesn't stay on long. He shuts it off. You don't hear it all day. That's it. So anybody can say that. But other than that, now since we've had that discussion, because we had to have that man-to-man discussion, for him, he feels a bit intimidated, but I don't know why, because I guess they're not used to that in this neighborhood. They're used to snickering behind people's backs. They're not used to having somebody show up at your front door and say, hey, look, we got to have a conversation. We need to talk. Because I'm used to talking to people up front. Be a man about it. Let's talk about it. And sometimes I do get a little aggressive, but sometimes that's a part of me, but I try not to be that person. But, he doesn't like to come outside when I'm out there working And I know he's got stuff to do. So, and on top of that, I got a camera running out there 24/7 when I'm recording. So I know he's out there working. He's got things to do. I'll bring it in early so that way he can get what he has to get done. Because I know he's a man. He got things to do, you know. I'm sorry if I came off intimidating like that. That wasn't my intentions. It was just that they're not used to people confronting them. They're not used to that around here. And I'm a person who confronts people. And I guess having me show up at the front door and having this conversation with him, he felt it was a bit intimidating. But like I said, I didn't kick your door in and come in and, you know, drop you to the ground. I didn't do that. I had a conversation with you, but they're not used to that out there. They do things different, but this is how I was raised, to talk to you if there's an issue. But I'll see him out there early in the morning. He'll be putting his stuff out, whatever he's working on, whatever project. And I got to pop out there for a couple of minutes to feed my birds. And he'll see me out there. He'll go in the house and shut the door because they're not used to confrontation out there. And I know he's got stuff to do. I can see the stuff he's got spread all over his lawn. I'm not going to block a man from his work. So I just go in the house and let him finish what he's got to do. I'll check on the camera. He'll be out there working and stuff like that. And that's it. Doesn't say anything. Quiet, peaceful. Doesn't run his mouth. Very quiet guy. They're just not used to confrontation out here. They're not used to it. So they're used to basically talking behind your back and stuff like that. That's what they do. But majority of most people, if they talk behind their back, they don't confront them. Hey, what you doing? Get away from there. I knew he was going to do it sooner or later. Try to rub his face on the side of the wall. You play with me today, buddy. You know better than that. Go downstairs. Mr. Taco, you're pushing it. Anyway, but they're not used to that. So they have that kind of like, they kind of like, you ever had a person that tries to talk to you and insult you at the same time, like kind insults, but they're insults? Yeah, that doesn't work for me up here. So the minute we've had that conversation, so what you mean by that? Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, if you're going to say that, then you say what you got to say. Don't beat around the bush. Just say it. At the end of the day, just be men about it. And they'll go, oh, no, I didn't mean it that way. So and so and so. And they'll go, oh, he's just so aggressive. He's so this, that, and the other. No, because I believe in if you got something to say, then you just freaking say it. I don't want to hear that kind of, oh, I don't get time for that nonsense. Say what you got to say. Let's move on. Got things to do. So, yeah. So, that's why over here, no one speaks to me or talks to me, because I don't care. The only one I to communicate with is a little old lady across the street because I like her. And the rest of them, I don't speak to them. It's not like it's not like when people say, well, that's not being a Christian. No, it's just some people you just have to avoid. You have to. Ah, man, these people are interesting out here. I mean, I knew it the first minute I came down here because the guy over here, he's a bit of a show-off. When it comes to his yard, he's one of those. I mean, it's nice if you got a nice yard, you know, but he's one of those that has to have a nice yard and throw it in other people's faces. So people down here just moved in, and they're real nice family and all. And they cut the grass so real nice in the front. They got some patio furniture for the front of the house. Got a nice hedge to keep my privacy. And they did a little barbecue out there. I thought it was quite nice. Oh, this joker over here goes out and puts all new hedges in the front, builds a little rocking area where he has a little fireplace out there, and he's just out there looking at them at the same time. Oh my goodness, that's when I had the conversation with in front of the house. I had to set him straight. I did lose my temper just a little bit, but I had to set him freaking straight. Don't do that nonsense again. Next time you have a problem, you will come to me and talk to me about it. Next time you have a problem. And Christians do get upset. We do lose our temper, but we try our best we try our best not to go over that line, but we do lose our tempers. We're humans. But I didn't lose my temper where I would run over there and basically knock this block off for doing what he did. But no, I want to have a conversation. Next time you have a problem, you will come address it to me and to me only. That's who you come to. And now he feels offended, which I don't care because he doesn't talk to me, so that's good. All right, we are done. Pay the rent. Not really, we got to do the floor. Huh? Really? Now you're going to put your 2 cents in like, you didn't help me out. I still got to finish the closet. I got to finish the closet. I got to finish the rest of the trim. We got to get some good paint here because this paint here really sucks. And it only works well for the cover up. Did you help me out? No, you didn't. I don't see any paint on you. I don't see any paint on you. My taco cat's giving his 2 cents. So we're wrapping everything up. Man, that paint was runny. Oh, man. I mean, I was using it for basically the touch of the walls. But I can see why I got so many bad reviews.
This stuff is,
Literally water paint.
oh, it's the worst. I'm definitely,
I hate to say this, but I'm gonna have to put this on a blacklist because man, this is bad. This is bad. Not everything on blacklist is gonna. Well, I guess it's got to involve home theater, but I did use it for my home theater, so I definitely was. But then again, most people paint most home theaters white, so I guess not. But God, that was the worst. I mean, it's good because again, I told you that the first paint job we put on was $40, and that was freaking from Sherman Williams, and it was thick. It covered the walls, but it was so thick. It had no coverage to it, and then it was basically like it was like painting with oatmeal and starch, and it left these blots all over the wall, and the coverage, like I said, was really bad. This one has good coverage, and we just needed to smooth out the blots. But the freaking this is supposed to be a primer. And look at this, that's 2 coats. That's pretty bad. So it really doesn't work. And I can see what the guy said he had to put 6 applications in. Let me tell you something. If I bag paint the first time and then it dries and then I have to go back in, and especially it's supposed to be a primer at that, but then again it's probably cheap. And you have to go back in the second time, there's no way in the world I'm going back a third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth time. No. By then I'm just gonna buy something expensive. Next time we do this room, if I ever do a room, it's white. Well, Taco, we gotta do your room. I'm not gonna do it in white, because you'll jack it up. You would definitely jack it up. We need to pick a color for your room. I'm gonna paint your room this week. Look at him. Look at him sitting over there, giving me the look from a distance like I can't be in there. I'm so angry. What you angry about, Mr. Taco Man? You want to be in the room covered with paint? I gotta look that up. Why do you cats rub your face on everything? Oh, you're showing off for the camera, are you not? Are you showing off for the camera? Stop being so showing off the camera. Taco 2.0. Taco 2.0. Look at you showing off for the camera. Get your camera time in there. Oh, you hit but the camera? How dangerous you are. Look at you showing off. You little monster, you. You monster. I'll slay your dragon. I will slay your dragon. My hands are dry. I'm good. I will slay your dragon. Yes, I will put a painter's hat on you. You know that, right? Come here, you little man. You little crazy man. We got to do your room. Let's go take a look at your room. Let me see. Your room should be easy to do. It's not that big. Yeah, we can knock this out in no time at all. It ain't gonna take a gallon for me to knock this out. I'm gonna get a gallon anyway. That's what usually most people do. We get a gallon and everything. We're gonna take a gallon. We're gonna knock this room out. What color? We're gonna do mismatch walls. And we just do mismatch walls in here. We do some nice pastel colors in here. Something pretty cool. We'll change this to a different color. And then we'll change that to a different color. We do this wall a different color here, back here. And we got to take this out because this projector, I found the mount for it. So I'm going to mount that to the ceiling. That's Taco's screen right there, which we're going to paint over that. Put his own paint up there. Taco, we're putting your own paint up there. Put your own Taco paint. And then we're going to do a frame around it with cat paws on it. Put a nice frame to it. You need a speaker system, don't you? Do you want a speaker system? We'll put a nice little computer speaker system because you can hear his bird sounds, which he likes to hear. And we'll hook it up. And we got to change out some of this bedding we have in here too. That's his bed, which he never, ever sleeps in. Never. Because I thought he was going to sleep up here, but he never sleeps in that bed. He'll lay in it, but he'll be here more than anything else because he likes being near the window. So this is just taking up a lot of room. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this out to something else. That's something different. I don't know. We'll change it to. Ooh, we got a great idea. We'll build a nice little stand in here. Get yourself a nice little movie couch. And in that way, we'll put a little area right here, like a little area with a little movie couch here. And then he can sit here and watch these screen. See, this is where he's at. Mostly, he's not on this. Taco has this sofa. He has a sofa and a chair. In the kitchen, one of the chairs is his. And the love seat is his. So when we watch TV, he's on one side laying there, sitting down, I'm on the other side watching TV. Look at the paw. Look how long your toadies are. You got some long toadies. Never knew your toadies were that long. Look at that. Long toadies. All right. So at least we can get rid of the bed and get some more room in here because you need your other time. We got to clean out the downstairs because we need to put the giant screen on the floor. So what we'll do is we'll make you a little sofa sitting area. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make a table that's going to come out from here with the legs. And we'll put Taco's sofa here so he can sit here and he can watch his birds from there. That's what we'll have. And you'll have stairs so you can climb up. He'll jump up if he can anyway. He's got this Air Jordan spring thing, so he's good. And we'll put a nice little sitting area. We want 2 lamps. We should put 2 lamps on each side. That'd be kind of funny. Not real lamps. We have to do the ones that are battery powered because I don't want them getting hurt. We'll make you a little entertainment center right here. Pretty cool, huh? That's what you want? We'll build you something like that. And you can sit in there and you can watch. We'll get with the whole little theater system. And that's what we'll do. Because he never lays on this. I got him this because I'm figuring he was going to sleep up here. But every time I come up here, I never see him here. He's always to the window. So we'll put a nice padded area in here. Get rid of this because that looks sloppy. Get a nice pack of some padding, some sofa cushions or whatever. You know, talking about for they make them for the radiators, so he can sit up there and watch his birds or wherever he looks out the window. Get rid of this metronomy. I'm taking this down today, getting rid of all of that, and then get ready to mount his projector. It's an Optima portable projector that'll hit this, and then what we'll do is we'll put in a deck with the hinges. Well, we need hinges. We'll put the deck here. We'll bring it out from here and here where you can sit down and he can watch your screen. Put a little rug right in there. That'd be pretty cool. And probably put some lamps on each side. There's a little theater section right here for him. You like that? Up there, he's in his box. I don't know why I spend money for toys when you're just going to be in your box all day. In your hottie box. What are you doing in your hottie box? Are you in your hottie box? You in your hottie box hiding? I'm going to pack you up and ship you away. You know that, right? I'm going to pack you up and ship you away. Yeah, all right, you little hottie box. Ah, you're bitey, man. Look at you. Dangerous. Go ahead. You don't bite me all day anyway. There you go. Let me go wash my hands anyway. Oh, you are definitely need to scratching post. Time for a new one. All right. Okay, cool. We got to make some rearrangements in Taco Land. And I got to get this junk. This is supposed to be his area for his snacks and treats. These are lamps that I have for preparing my projectors. I got to put all this stuff in the shop today so he can have this for his treats. Look at him. Don't take much to entertain that cat. All right, so we're done in here. We're not done. We're going to do the floor next. But right now, I got to get everything out of here. The closet, we're just going to get some good paint and do the closet because I'm not going to be in here. At least we got it covered. I'm going to take the good paint and we're going to do bare 1050 for here and there. And we're going to do the trim there is done. Where are you at? Who are you talking to, Taco? Did Francis come by? No, Francis didn't even come by because there's no dent in his food. So he didn't come by. All right. He'll be by today. Don't worry about it. You know, he's fussed so much. All right. I got him covered in paint. Got to be careful. Everything in the house is in here is black. All right. So let me let you guys go. We got to go back outside in a few minutes. We got to finish painting the second application. We actually made the gunmetal darker. So I want to see how that turns out and if we're able to maintain our white levels while we're doing that. So we got to go do that test right now while that's drying upstairs. And then we'll come back up when that's done and I got to paint the floor. And then when the floor is done, we can come back in and finish up those touch-ups. I got the LED lights to run for around the edge of the baseboard. And then we're going to install the screen. I got to order the screen and have the screen bought in. My bad. I got to get you one of those little things, little drapes around there, so you have your privacy. Maybe put a piece of newspaper against the wall. That'd be funny. So that's what we're going to do. All right. So let me let y'all go, and I am going to get the upstairs cleaned up, get a little cleaned up, and then I got outside to get the other screen and start working on that. We got a customer screen to paint today too. We're gonna be doing that customer screen. I'm gonna be sending your screen back today. All right, so we're gonna be doing that also too. So I got you taken care of. I'll be sending you an email in a few minutes. And anybody else who's waiting for your orders, we got you taken care of. We got supplies coming in. You're taken care of. You'll be shipped out and taken care of as always. As you can see, my table is empty. Yeah, we got them taken out. You'll be next, so you'll be taken care of still also. That being said, I gotta go. Thank you all, and God bless. Hey, Taco Man.